Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the ESL Mobile Open. I'm your host, Paul and Verum Toddkill, and we're here for the finals of Ladder 2 for PUBG Mobile. I'm joined, of course, by Glitter Explosion back again, and we get to crown another ladder champion. I'm excited.
I mean, I am too, because our last ladder was very entertaining, to say the least. So I'm excited to see what the teams who have made it through to today can bring to the table.
Oh, 100%. And of course, today is the last step in the journey for this ladder, but there were quite a few that came before this, leading these top 16 teams to this point. Of course, there's a lot of competition going on, not just here in PUBG Mobile, but across a ton of different games here in North America and around the world. There's a lot happening for the ESL Mobile program this year. Let's take a look at how it all works.
Welcome to ESL Mobile, the home of mobile esports. ESL Mobile is a global program designed to give you an opportunity to compete in your favorite mobile games, featuring multiple game titles, taking place in 3 regions, and offering 2 levels of competition. There's something here for everyone. ESL Mobile Open is the gateway to competitive play, free to join and open to any resident of our supported regions. This is the best way for you to enjoy the thrill of victory and take your shot at winning cash prizes. Each season of Mobile Open will consist of 2 ladders, and the top competitors from each will qualify for the Mobile Open play-ins. ESL Mobile Challenge is your path to glory. If you are a top competitor in the Mobile Open play-ins, you will earn a spot in the Mobile Challenge season. The top team from each ladder will skip the play-ins and qualify directly for the Mobile Challenge season. This is where you'll have the chance to compete against the best players in your region. At the end of each season, top Mobile Challenge players will compete in the Mobile Challenge Finals to determine a winner and be crowned their region's champion. ESL Mobile is for everyone. This is your opportunity to join a diverse and growing community of players across the world and see just how far you can go.
All right, now that you guys have your final refresher on how our program works, obviously, I'll talk to you a little bit about the show. This is typically where Verum and I break down all of the amazing action that happened in the past week of the ESL Mobile Open. But this is the last week. This is the last event of the last week. So we got to see how all of our teams qualified through to our Ladder 2 finals.
Absolutely. It's all about PUBG Mobile today. The other games done and dusted. So now we get to crown ourselves a Ladder 2 champion. Which one of these 16 teams will it be? Because there are a lot of names that we've seen over the last 4 weeks here, a couple of new ones as well. But the thing that really sticks out to me, Glitter, is how many fantastic Mexican squads we have here, and the fact that there's no like big ringer names coming in. Nova kind of came in last time. We had Knights as well. None of that. It's all, well, we got a new generation here, but it's the next generation of awesome players.
100%, 100%. That's why we have to explain to you just how awesome the program is. Okay, you guys need to realize you can be joining from anywhere. Look at the variety we have here. LGB Esports up there at top, and not by a huge margin, which is what you were just saying, Paul. So I love to see it. So many names here on the second half of our leaderboard as well. Teletubbies we've spoken about before. 4-Piece, All-Stars, V for Vendetta. I mean, literally, there are so many recognizable names, but like you said, none of those super massive Nova Knights level heavy hitters, but as well as some new names on our list still for our Ladder 2 finals.
And I think what helps makes this so exciting, and as we jump on board with Nova Esports here, is, again, there are other great squads coming up in NA. We're seeing here Top Esports or Top MX coming in here and, you know, taking some blows, trading out a little bit, but actually doing a ton of work here, able to overcome Nova Esports and actually take the win in this particular match. Crazy last finish 1v1 here with Ness, which we don't get to see super duper often. But what's great about this is I don't have a ton of expectations coming into this. There are so many great squads that could step up to the plate. It's just all about who can be that little bit more consistent across all 5 games, and who, Glitter, like in this particular match, can put up big numbers.
I mean, you've got the consistency because both of these clips, okay, are Top MX.
That's true.
And you have the big kills. You guys, but we're going to see it as we move through the rest of this highlight. But Top MX is just racking up kill after kill in this eventual chicken dinner for themselves. I mean, we've talked about it before with Nova, how we see them get 15 kills here, 13. I mean, we even saw them getting those types of numbers in our last ladder finals. But Top MX in this game is going to pull down a whopping 18 kills. And if that's the type of gameplay that we're going to be getting out of people today, then this is going to be a doozy.
I mean, look at the movement here. Just the snap reaction time. Pretty crazy. Not necessarily the most economical, but getting the shots in when they matter most and throwing, they can throw the frags to boot. I love this decision right underneath the car. There it is. That's it. That's how you get those chicken dinners. And no, they ended up pulling off some absolutely stellar plays. Like you said, 18 kills to finish this all off, and no hesitation when it calls for going for the throat here at the very end to secure that chicken dinner. That's the kind of attitude we need to see tonight. That's the kind of confidence that I want to see these teams bringing to the table here today. But again, my actually, this is, in a lot of ways, I find this a lot more fun because, like, I have no preconceived notions. There are a lot of fantastic teams who've been playing over the last few weeks. We've seen clips from a ton of them on our recap show over the last few weeks. And now it just, who can do it in only 5 games? Who can do it, you know, when their back's against the wall and there's money on the line? This is when things get particularly exciting. But of course, along with seeing top plays glitter, we've also had some opportunities to learn.
Ooh, we have, and I know exactly where you're going with this, because before we get into our Ladder 2 finals, we actually have our final content piece with Zute, yet another opportunity to learn something. So let's check out what he had to say.
Looking as sharp as ever, Paul and Glitter. You know, with this being the 4th focus breakdown that we're doing already, let's go back to the basics. Let's go back to the roots of a battle royale game. I'm talking about rotations. And so, without further ado, guys, let's head into this week's focus breakdown. All right, guys, for this week's focus breakdown, we will be covering one of the most requested topic of analysis: rotations. Now, the reason why I haven't done a focus breakdown on rotations is because it is one of the most basic, but at the same time, most advanced topics to cover, because there are so many factors to consider. But we all have to start somewhere, so let's start with the basics. Now, the first step to mastering down rotations is to understand the circle shift dynamics. Now, circles commonly hard shift in a game of PUBG, and learning to take advantage of these hard shifts is crucial in maps like Miramar and Erangel, where vehicles are readily available. Maps like Sandhawk, rotations are far less flexible and you will often find yourself on foot. So for today, we will be looking at a game of Miramar, and where the rotations there are the most difficult given its unforgiving terrain. Alright guys, so let's take a look at this circle shift here. The previous circle was circle 2, and this new circle is circle 3. So circle 3 is the most crucial circle to get in a good wrapping rotation in case it hard shifts. Teams on the hard shift side can take advantage of a favorable hard shift by exploring options that are more central on the new circle, as it is likely to be open. Teams that were centered in the previous circle, regardless of the direction of the hard shift, can plan a careful rotation more central on to circle 3. Teams that are on the far edge of the new hard shift circle can do a wrapping rotation onto the hard shift side. A good rotation in circle 3 can set a team up for the next rotation when circle 4 comes. As the circle continues on, it will get increasingly difficult to make use of rotations. Remember, scouting and good pathing on rotations is always a must whenever making any sort of rotations. Take special note of Team Unity here that is on the hard shift side of circle 3. This will come into play later. Alright guys, time for another pop quiz. On which circle shift is it most crucial to get a good rotation in? So, as circle 3 closes, notice how this side of the circle becomes very congested with teams, whereas the opposite side, the hard shift side, the circle is much more open. This is a very common occurrence in PUBG Mobile, and learning to adapt to hard shifts will give your team a big advantage. This strategy will vary depending on the circles, and as your team improves and start to face better opponents, they might also be utilizing the same strategy. Now, towards the very final circle, we do have two teams facing off with each other, and it is none other than Team Unity facing off with Team LGV in a 2v2 situation. Team Unity do end up claiming the chicken dinner along with 9 kills, but taking advantage of the hard shift was only one element of their success in this game. If you feel like you're really starting to understand how rotations work now, I'm sorry to say, but this was only the beginner basics. But hey, we all gotta start somewhere, right? So, back to you, Paul and Glitter.
I mean, Professor Zute is here. Class is in session. Circle 3, I mean, there's oftentimes we do see teams start to fall behind if they don't get the shift in Circle 3. I mean, if the circle keeps hard shifting away from you, there's not a whole lot you can do about that, but that's 100% true, and that's something we're definitely going to look at today, see how those teams fare in the mid-game, how they're able to start to set up, establish vision, figure out who is where, and of course, depending on how many games these teams have played together, they can have a sense of where the drop spots are and what the likely rotational paths are going to be. So much. There's a lot in PUBG Mobile. There's like a lot.
Listen, I've been paying attention to Professor Zute this entire time. So I think what I'm going to be looking for now is I'm going to be paying attention to people's rotations, but pulling in last week's lesson as well. Are we going to see the solo YOLO, Paul? Are we going to see
the 3-1 split, the solo, or the all 4 split solo YOLO?
The one.
Well, there's no Nova, so maybe not. Probably not. This is true. This is true. I mean, look, in order to find that out, we got to get into some games, which means I got to say goodbye to you for now. We got to get our casters into the show. Degon, welcome back, sir. It hasn't been that long. It's not. It's been a short amount of time.
I like the amount of time it's been, because when I'm away from you and the rest of the team for too long, it makes me sad.
Yep.
But today is a joyous day because we're here for the second finals, and we're not doing it alone.
No, Cameron Davis, get in here. Oh my goodness, how you doing?
Hi.
Got your hair up all nice? Gosh.
Yeah.
I feel like I should get my hair cut. I feel like it's getting too long for this broadcast.
Nah. You're fitting in. You're fitting in on
chat.
all the
Does
rest
Paul
of the
need to
hippies
get
on
his
the
hair
West
cut?
Coast.
That's the
One's
question.
in the chat. One's in the chat for yes. Two's in the chat for no.
Look. While we get that question answered, Degon, let's do some explaining of our own. Let's take a look at the format. Remind everybody, it hasn't changed. You should know what's going. Tell them anyway.
That's right. These teams have played through their 8 weeks of gameplay. Now we're randomized into groups. Now we've got ourselves the top 16 teams here today in our finals. All of these teams work their way difficultly up through the ladder using this point system, Cammy.
Yeah, 15 points for a win. Going down from there, 0 points if you go out too early, but kills are still worth points. So you start to see some teams towards the end of each series, like we're going to see at the end of today's 5 games, of making those calculations of, do we want to go for placements or do we want to try and lean for kills? What is the game really giving us? And trying to have their own sort of preset win condition round by round by round.
It's all about adapting to what the game throws at you. Again, we see some teams sometimes get into unfortunate scuffles early, losing 1 or 2 players. In that case, do they try and either snake it out, go for those placement points, or do they try and take advantage of a third-party situation and rack up kill points that way? Regardless, things you don't want to necessarily do is finish with, I don't know, 4 placement points after 5 games. Knights, last ladder. You want to focus maybe a little bit harder on some. We got to go a little bit there. Because, yeah, it's all about balance. When we take a look back, last split, I mean, being able to put up consistent kills and placements, Degon, that's the name of the game. Consistency, because they only have 5 games.
Yeah, it's a shortened kind of version based when they compare to the qualifying rounds, right? You already know you're going to get yourself multiple games, multiple days. The finals is such a different beast because you have to be able to bring it on that day. And we've seen some fantastic teams leave it late or not be able to turn it on at all. And every finals that we roll into tells a different story.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's just, I'm sorry, I'm just thinking about all that. It is, you have to win the games that you have to win. The circle, as we just said, the circle is going to give you a certain game plan in front of you. And sometimes you're going to be in a really bad situation, but there are other times that you're going to be in an amazing situation And if you don't win that game, that's when problems really start to arise.
That's when it can come back to haunt you, because you only have 5 opportunities here to become that ladder 2 champion, which means we need to get to some gameplay. We're going to head to a short break. When we come back, right into the action with game number 1. We'll see you in a few.
I go ready for it. 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 I go ready for it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the ESL Mobile Open North America PUBG Mobile Fall Ladder 2 Finals. Yeah, we got through it there, Cammy D. And D got here
We
to
did
bring
it.
you all the action. That was crazy. Cammy, wait, well done, well done.
Yeah, you're absolutely welcome. But Diego, my question to you is, what happened? I thought we talked to the scriptwriters. I thought we talked to the pilots to stop giving us these awful starting plane paths. Remember, in Ladder 1, it was almost every single plane except, I mean, you know, Sanok not included, had like
Right.
the worst plane path, and that streak is continuing.
The challenge is not only the players in the lobby, but the game itself. So this one going pretty southwest to basically east, not really even northeast. A lot of the playable area up north won't be populated unless you pull the chute early. And I would imagine 2, 3, maybe even 4 teams looking at secondary drop spots. And we talk about this every finals we have here in the Mobile Open. These aren't the teams that you've been screaming against all the time. You know exactly where they're dropping. A lot of the time, this is the first, maybe like 3rd time that these teams have dropped against the current lobby. So we might have a couple of hot drops here, especially with this terrible plane path. The circle is centered, though.
Yeah, at least the circle is... the circle isn't even perfect because there's still that little bit of the military base that it's cutting out a lot of the circle for a playable area. And I'm saying that because it's unlikely going to continue in the game Circle 2, Circle 3, Circle 4, or more than likely going to be swinging towards the mainland Erangel, which means that unless you are dropping there, like we see 2 teams doing right now, you're not going to want to rotate in that direction, which means that Circle 1, I mean, it should be big enough, it should be fine, but it's still only about like 60 to 70% of its usual size.
Right. There we go. Couple of teams sitting on top of each other right now. Not the, again, the greatest drop for a lot of our competitors here so far, but it doesn't seem like we have too much action.
They're making it work.
Scanning through. Yeah. They're being friendly neighbors. People are signing up for the HOA, the Homeowners Association. This is my fence. Please don't come near me. And a lot of the teams that were close to each other look like they're grabbing vehicles and booking their way out of there.
Yeah, listen, going for early action can be a very useful strategy in this game. You get those kill points, you're able to wipe down a couple of enemies. Even if you don't get the full team, it still weakens them for later on in the game. But when it's this early, when everyone is still dropping, you don't really have your full team, your full squad set up, which means that it's a lot more chaotic and it's a lot less reliable for you being able to come out on top with a healthy stock of resources behind you, whether that's keeping all 4 players alive and then just making sure that you have the meds and even the time to continue your loot once that's all done. So everyone is taking this first game incredibly safe. We're seeing a number of long rotations all the way towards the north. This team here, just now arriving at Georgia Pole, haven't even started looting yet. The Teletubbies.
Those are the Teletubbies coming on through. A fan favorite name, by the way. The Teletubbies with Tinky Winky Lala. Yeah. I can't see what the S name is.
You don't know the Teletubbies?
Sun? Sun is a Teletubby?
I guess Sun is one of the Teletubbies, yeah. Kind of?
The Sun is kind of the Teletubby. And,
like, isn't there that one? Who's that person who's considered like the 5th Beatle? That's kind of the Sun in this case.
Well, where's Dipsy? Right? What's the song? Tinky Winky, Dipsy, La La.
La La and Po. And Pooh and Pooh.
Oh, so I can't wait to be calling this one out with Pooh making some plays here today, part of the Teletubbies. They qualified in, I believe, 11th place. 11th? 10th place. 10th place coming on in to the tournament.
Yeah, not super high up, but still wasn't in a huge danger zone coming into the last few moments of the qualification. And if you think back onto Ladder 1, we saw quite a few upsets. Obviously, Nova were the favorites to win the whole thing, and they did. But even within that, we saw a couple of teams really step up from the qualifier. And especially because this is 5 games, if no matter how good of a team you are, if you slip up once, that could and likely will put a huge damper on your performance here. So really, like, take notes from who's climbing ahead after this very first game.
Yeah, and a lot of the teams, I would say, that we've come to know and love not only through the Mobile Open, but through PMPL, aren't necessarily here. You don't have the world beaters of Nova just kind of waiting for their opportunity to clean up the lobby. You have a lot of teams that have been grinding out these Mobile Opens to work their way on up to PMPL Americas and beyond. So it'll be really cool because this is one of the first times we're having a true grassroots amateur tournament for teams to make their name into the next level.
Yeah, there's a lot of new names here. I was looking through all of the rosters, even the team names themselves. There's only a couple that I recognize from Ladder 1 just a few months ago, right? Or not even, like a month ago, really. And I'm sure that there are a couple of roster moves within there, but this is still such a new experience for the viewers to, you know, maybe get the first chance of any potential rising stars.
Right now, the only thing that is rising is the timer towards the next zone.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the teams now found their comfortable spots, scanning around for where the possibility of an opponent could be at in a house or in a shed. But this seems to be one of the most tame zone ones we've had in quite a while.
Yeah,
we've been blessed, Cammy, with like these action-packed zone ones. We're like, yeah, they shouldn't fight here. Oh, the plane path. Oh, the circle. Yeah, there's fighting.
Yeah. Hey, listen, you heard Zute. It looks like all these players were listening to him as well. Rotations are important. You want to focus on your macros for the first half of the game. Fighting ability is always incredibly important. That's really the reason that you're able to close games out on a regular basis. But the early game is all about movement. It's all about getting those initial pieces in play for when the game hits its midsection, hits its end section. And so now we're seeing a couple of teams arrive at some strong locations. This new compound, it's called, in certain circles, is a solid one. Also fitting for the team name of New Generation.
You know, here, it's the makeup pop quiz for those that maybe had some trouble with Professor Zute. What is the most important zone to rotate out of?
Are you asking me?
I'm asking you.
I said all of them because that's the easy answer. Zute claims 3, and I think there's an argument for any circle that you want to about rotations in any circle. The main difference is that it just changes what you're talking about. But yeah, 3 is the one that is generally the turning point from early into mid game. Oftentimes it's after the circle 3 shift, once we go into 4, 5, etc., that you start to see more and more teams drop the vehicles for most scenarios. So yeah, generally it's going to be 3 is where it's like, okay, the setup is done, now the real game starts. But IGL here is getting a little curious. Rotating close to another team. Likely spotted something, quickly rotating away. That's exactly how you scout compounds. You don't want to drive all the way up. You want to drive, do little circles, Oh, okay. Wait, maybe not this. Hits a tree, has to hide.
Yeah,
that buggy might be lost.
Team Ace is catching out here, the new generation scout. And as you said, it was going well until driving became part of the issue there. We've seen a lot of vehicle mishaps in the Mobile Open. This one not that bad, and IGL able to get himself out of trouble after scanning that one out. But now the rest of the team has to decide, do we help out IGL and rotate into the middle of nowhere, because that's by Potato, not a ton over there,
well,
as the zone is shifted.
Yeah, there's your answer. It was so close to the phase 2 pop that they were just going to wait. IGL was in a safe position, or at least not in immediate danger. They're going to wait to see where the next circle win, and this is a really good opportunity for them to move, either group up with IGL or even pick them up and try and gain an even more central position, considering how far of a shift this was. However, there are a lot of teams that are already on that west side of the first circle. So you can't be too hectic. You can't be too wild with your rotations. You do so want to put a lot of your timing and your attention towards information gathering.
Well, you know, we're seeing down here in the south by the coast, it's starting to get a little crowded. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 teams all kind of bunching up. Pachinki now starting to get a little bit more crowded with Buckdack Esports coming on through as well. Ace is looking to hop on into Pachinki. And we now follow along with the Teletubbies. They are the team furthest west on this southern coast, but there are 3 teams to their east. They got to start scouting out. Anytime they get lined up here, not a ton of hard cover. You got a lot of trees, but not houses, except those that are behind them.
If they're able to guarantee that no one's going to be coming in from their south, which it looks like they're still trying to make sure that they're putting attention that way, they're actually setting themselves up for a really good position to continue to play this game on edge unless we see a circle 3 or 4 hard shift far away from them. But here it's going to be Pachinki, BLW, trying to hold it down and not let anyone approach.
Yeah, this is Blackwater Gaming, or Blackwater Mexico against Buckdack Esports. This is the 14th and 15th place qualifiers now fighting over this space here in Pachinki. Blackwater was here first, but while they've been focusing over on Buckdack Gaming, another team has come on through. It's Vendetta. V4 Vendetta now has taken over a little bit more space here in Pachinki. They are the 2nd place qualifier, so expecting to see some firepower coming out. And all the while, Aces is starting to hover around Pachinki as well. Pachinki's starting to get a little crowded, centering up.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the positioning that Blackwater, Mexico are having with that little bit of a spread on the north side. It's not so far apart that they're perfectly in range to assist each other, but they don't just want to let other teams come into the zone for free. You can see the positioning here by Budak Esports. They can't be too aggressive. They have to make sure that, you know, they are aware of all the different angles held onto them. But elsewhere, Unity here trying to take some shots at some teams downrange of them. This is going to be Potato Mountain on the west side.
Yes.
Taking some shots into the barns just east of Pachinki.
Yeah, that was Aces that was working their way on into Pachinki, then getting shot from behind, had to take the, as you said, the barns there. Meanwhile, Teletubbies were knocked earlier, and so they've had to retreat back to their houses, the yellow houses right next to the lighthouse. So now, next circle going to pop here in a couple of seconds. Let us know where we're going next. The teams have had it pretty easy based off of the zone. Will it center up again? Will it give us something crazy? That's a lot of water, Cammy.
Oh, yeah, this is a lot. This is great for the Teletubbies, naturally. I imagine that we'll see them maybe try and fall away and avoid all of the congestions that's about to come, because everyone's going to be swinging in from the north. Everyone's going to be swinging in from the east especially. And so while you might be tempted to go for the kills that are kind of just being thrown your way, at the same time, you want to make sure that you're not overwhelmed. And so, yeah, you can see the Teletubbies back off. Everyone else is going to have to fight over those few areas because there's a lot of water. There's the open fields that aren't necessarily the best to play.
That's 5. Look, I can barely read the names. Look, the whole circle's covered up right now because there's 5, 6 teams rotating on in from the northeast. And it's time to pick up the points. It looks like All Stars is going to start firing away at any team coming on through right now. You can see the new generation IGL. This is it. This is what I was talking about, driving right by All Stars, and it looks like he gets a free pass here. No, his vehicle's broken. His wheel's down. I don't know what happened, but he gets knocked, and this vehicle's going to blow. Oh, no.
Yeah. That's rough, but that was an incredibly risky rotation for them to take anyway. I imagine they were just trying to go for center and hope that they were able to get there first, but the gamble didn't pay off. At least IGL is going to go down. Unsure about the status of the rest of the team, but here's the Teletubbies. They backed away. They do have a couple of threats immediately to the east as well as to the west, where we have Budak also rotating in, but they're positioning their vehicles and, of course, their bodies to defend from this approach.
All the gunfire, you can hear it there. It's the light blue on the teal. The colors look the same, but the bullets, they are coming from different teams as Teletubbies is able to get one knock, but now Tinky Winky getting knocked from distance by Unity. And so as much as they wanted to pick up some points there on Budak Gaming, Unity has now rotated on into the southern coast.
Good position here. It's going to be a bit rough for them to try and leave. Hopefully they're able to keep their vehicles alive, but for the moment this is actually a very, very safe position, and they can able to output a decent amount of pressure onto the few teams that were noting around them. It's like whack-a-mole trying to shoot back at these guys hiding in the rocks like this.
I know on the screen we saw a ton of cars rotating on in. We didn't see a lot of deaths. One team that got destroyed was Nameless Mexico. They went up against Force of Gaming on the western side, or on the eastern side of the map, took down 3 of them. Only DXI still alive for Nameless Gaming, as the rest of the team will slowly work their way on in. Force is going to have a tough in here because they'll be rotating right on into Peace, 4 Peace, and there just isn't a lot of space for them. We'll catch up with them in just a little bit.
Teletubbies able to get the revive. Tinky Winky. And the next circle pops. Swings to the north, but considering all the water in play, it's essentially center, maybe a bit further west than all these teams on the east side would have hoped. And again, that's because of all that field, which is there is still a fair amount. So I'm mostly curious about that fight in the north between V4 and Blackwater. That hilltop is going to be a pivotal point of control, but who's to say we don't have other people rotating into that exact same position? You already see a couple of teams on the west. They could be heading there to third party and fourth party that fight.
Yeah, V2 Black gonna just be observing that space there, and on our screen we're seeing Teletubbies. They move from the southern houses just to slightly to the north, and they beat Unity to the spot. Unity still just hanging out on those cliffs, will not have any hard cover as they rotate on in.
Great approach, great attack. Metal Gear style here by Blackwater, able to get one down and can't quite get the second, but at least doing massive damage destruction to a vehicle is still making it. Oh, almost gets the second knock and the backup is rolling up.
The shots rolling on through, as you said, a great approach, allowing the rest of the team to come in and clean up. Strap picking up one, Juice picking up the other. Only 2 members still alive for V4 Vendetta. And you called it. That's where the action was going to be. It's still rolling on through. Now, Avi able to pick one up, but he gets taken down from distance by Mercy. Only one left alive for V4 Vendetta. No one dies here for Blackwater Gaming. It's a clean ace.
Yes, but they got a couple of knocks against them, which means if anyone's been paying attention to the kill feed and hearing the sounds of the distance, putting 2 and 2 together, could have had an opportunity for a weakened Blackwater to the north, but doesn't look like anyone's going to bite on that. Here, the east is where all of the fighting is going to be. There's like 7 teams. Bit of an exaggeration, but it kind of feels like that's still around this area because no one wants to have to go into the field just yet. It's all out in the open. There's almost no cover. So instead, just fight for these ridges and play from the edge. It seems to be the name for the game for so many of these teams.
Yeah, that's a great call. The reason why no one pushed was because the team closest for Peace was getting pushed by Forza. We got to see Forza there cleaning up and then covering their back, shooting down aces. Now Teletubbies going one-on-one here with Unity. Came off the cliffs. Will they be able to stay alive? No, they don't. Teletubbies take down 3 of them. No casualties. Only 1 member of Unity left alive here. And Teletubbies, they held this position early and they defended strong. Only Arrest still alive here for Unity.
You can't fault Unity for trying to approach this compound. Look at all the pressure from the other teams to the north. But yeah, Teletubbies are having this area down on lock. Multi-angle push onto the last member for Unity, making sure to not lose anyone. But the pressure from all of the teams was too much. They do actually lose one, so they don't come out of this unscathed.
Yeah, that was All-Stars. All-Stars came on in and started shooting from distance in a way that Teletubbies couldn't retaliate. They lose one, so 1 kill here for All-Stars. They do have a team sitting right next to them. It's Arabians INT waiting to strike. We'll catch up with that one in just a bit. We're back to the northeast where Forza stuck between 4-piece and XI, that's Extreme Ice. They're close to the circle, but no one is in it. Blackwater is very close.
Blackwater have a really good spot because they have the hill, but then everything else is gonna be flat, so they need to make sure that they're watching every single angle. I'm sure there are gonna be multiple people aggressing onto their position, but to all the teams here, including the player right in front of us on the southeast side, they can't even think about the circle just yet. They need to clear each other out first before they can even make their way towards the next zone.
Yeah, following along with All-Stars right now. You could see them focus down Teletubbies. The rest of the team was watching their back. They had Arabians INT behind them, and it was a 2-2 split for Arabians. They ran into those 2 that were behind All-Stars, ended up falling pretty quickly. You know, based off of this zone here, it feels like this is a zone where you're going to come in late. If you get there early, everyone's going to shoot you. You just got to yeet it late and hope that everyone else is distracted in the meantime.
Yeah, it's basically running with the blue right at your back, shepherding you in. But that just still means that these threats got to be taken care of. Everyone's trying to clear the area out around them. And unfortunately, New Generation have taken a lot of licks. It's just 1 member up. Tio, how far can he go? He's getting chased. And that's going to be a clear and a finish. But it's not done yet.
Nice little play there in the cleanup by Lost Gaming. I liked the way that they did that. Again, just pouncing on New Generation. It looks like Teletubbies sent it early. They're out now, and Arabians doing a good job just kind of hanging out and now being a sneaky snake in the grass. They've found a little bit of area to work with.
No one's been contesting Blackwater on the north. Everyone is just going directly into the field. This is a very big gamble play for all these different teams, because unless there is a extreme hardship down towards the south, who's to say like Blackwater won't have angles available to just have a shooting gallery onto everyone else in the field?
Extreme Ice is still in the northeast area. They're the furthest north other than Blackwater, and they're giving it a look, but now Lost Gaming is shooting up at them and ruining the only team that could theoretically hit them with the flank. And so we won't be getting too much of that. We're following along with V2 now. They're holding the west side pretty comfortably. Arabians are in front of them. And then south of them, we've got Sailing Pro. So teams now just hanging out either way out in the edge, or, you know, you've got your one-person sneaky snake in the grass kind of holding in the middle.
V2 seem to have this edge position on lock, but look at how many smokes they're already having to use. Oh, and there's that hard shift. So I guess they knew something that we didn't, sending into the field like this, because that's exactly where it's going to end. Still, I want to see Blackwater use this high ground, use these angles to their advantage before the blue pushes them towards the field, but they don't have that much time. They at least know where V2 are already, considering the shots sent their way just a few moments ago.
Yeah, it's not only them. It's Lost Gaming as well. They've got basically an equidistant trip, but only from the east now. And it's Jenny that's crawling closer and closer to the crate for Budak Esports. Maybe can find something that'll help out there. We'll see. But Blackwater, they're going to prep on up, and let's see how they do it. Is it a full send? Is it a semi-send? Oh, this zone hurts.
Yeah, a little bit of damage there. That's going to make it easier for a team if they end up driving a little too close by. But yeah, this is really the only play available. You can't just walk down that area. But hey, it looks like they're able to get into the circle, at least close to it safely. Who's just being dropped off. They know this again. They know where V2 are, so they put themselves in a position to clear them out. It's going to make their continual approach a lot easier. But the blue, well, the blue's going to have something to say about that because it is just slowly closing in.
Yeah, they're still slightly outside, and V2 is to their west. So they're going to have to fight their way on in. You can see Juice landing a nade there onto the first member of V2, and they're starting to get very bloody. Blackwater actually taking on fights on multiple sides as Hugo's in, knocks someone else out. And the snake of Budak Gaming, Jenny, is just holding on for dear life, and they're just going up point by point here as Juice now focusing up on V2. 2 knocks already onto V2. Stands up, doesn't get punished, throws the nade. Will it connect? Very close, but won't. See someone in the grass, able to win the gunfight there with Updeck. And V2 now down to only a couple members.
I don't know what Juice saw to start spraying into the grass like that. It must have been a pixel out of place. And now the V2 have been removed. This is going to give them an opportunity to go for the revive, stay as 4 up, and just take those last few steps needed to get into the circle. We're looking at 4 teams remain. Only 2 of them what I would consider healthy.
You got Sailing Pro with all 4 members, Blackwater with all 4 members, and then you got Lost Gaming with 3, and what seems to be the most control of the zone. And then Jenny is hanging out there in the northeast, hoping that no one saw.
Oh, Jenny gets the shift, but that is actually going to hurt them because that's the direction that Blackwater are likely going to want to go, unless, of course, Sailing Pro make them angry enough that they want to just sweep down to the south and take out one of their opponents.
Yeah, I think when TT of Lost Gaming did see Jenny, it seems like they're locking into it, starting to take some shots, but not quite landing. And now, looks like Lost is starting to take a chunk out of one of the teams already.
Yeah, Sailing Pro lose a member. Now the push from Blackwater in the north comes in. Using the vehicles, getting there fast. Almost ran over Jenny. Actually, no, that was a run over onto Jenny. I don't even know if that was on purpose, just accidental, but the approach is successful. Multiple knocks. Juice has been down themselves. But look at the positioning here from Blackwater. They're trying to expand all across the circle and just take control of this entire thing.
Yeah, Blackwater had been blessed with the zone. They had so much time holding that high ground that they had a ton of utility. The nades helped them clear out V2, but now Sailing Pro fighting back. Remember, they came from the west side, and they're moving closer and closer. You can see Andy check his right, be like, yep, there's Lost. We're going to continue to focus forward here.
Throw the pan.
That's what Edwin is doing right now.
Yeah, there was a lot of damage to the Blackwater. That's what Sailing Pro right now are trying to capitalize on, but it looks like the revives are going to start to come through. Definitely a good idea for them to push towards the north, but the spray comes out. Strap with the strap, able to knock one.
What a shot, and you can see the health bars right back on up to near full for Blackwater. Nice shots coming back, though, so Andy able to answer, but he's the last one alive. Oh, no, he's not. He's got one more. He's got more.
Well, he got ZX teammates knocked. Yeah,
Jeez.
That's the huge thing, though, is once again, Blackwater, they're just taking knock after knock after knock, and they've been getting the revives so far this entire time, but how long is that going to last?
I don't know.
Pro, they're fighting on two fronts.
They're just trying to collect the points. I think if you're Lost Gaming, you had multiple opportunities there to third party on in either side, but they haven't yet. Ning is knocked. Only 2 left up here for Lost as it's TYZZZ and Wen TT continuing to move on forward here against Blackwater. Blackwater's lost 1. Not that it matters a ton. I believe they have 19 kills here for Blackwater Gaming in game number 1.
And it's not even over. They could still get the win. They could still get like 3 or more kills as well. They are taking over this entire game. And they only lost 1 after all of that damage that came out of Sailing Pro. Circle centers up. This is the final zone. We know where the game is going to end. Blackwater knows where the final member of Sailing Pro is, down to the east, but they cannot be distracted. They know that Lost are going to be a big threat in this as well.
You can see Strap trying to jump a little bit there to see if he can catch Andy. Yeah. There it is. Nice little jump move there by Strap to see just a couple of pixels out of place. And now it's a straight up 3v3 Lost against Blackwater. And Blackwater MX has just had a hell of a game. Can they cap it off with the chicken dinner? 20 kills so far for team number 16.
Now that Sailing Pro has been removed, that gives Strap the opportunity to swing around for the side, go for information, go for the crossfire. And they haven't had to be activated just yet, but they are making sure that they can lock in this game. Strap stands up. They want to go for the finish. The spray comes out, gets another knock.
He's too good. With TT still alive, almost pulls it back on off. But one of the most impressive performances we've seen in the Mobile Open. Blackwater Gaming get the chicken dinner and hit the 20s. 20s in the kills.
Wait, there's 9, 6, 5, and 3. I'm trying to do the math there. Is that 24 kills?
It was 23. I think it was 23. Might be 24. I think it's 23. That's still insane.
That's an insane amount. We rarely even get close to 20, much less surpass it. Like 16 kills, 15, 16, that's usually the number that we look like. It's like, oh, that's like the top. That's like a star performance. They went way over that, and that's only game 1.
Yeah, only game 1. A slower game 1 than what we've been used to over the last couple of Mobile Opens. It was a pretty safe zone 1 and 2. And a lot of the time when we see teams that have been blessed by the circle, blessed by the zone, they don't take advantage of it. And that's just kind of the level that teams are at here. That's not the case here with Blackwater, Mexico, popping off, being like, yes, thank you for the high ground. Thank you for the zones. We won't waste our utility doing dumb stuff. And as they go on in, they play aggressively, use their utility, had a ton of nades, cleared out about a whole third of the zone for them. It was just a ton of fun to watch there, Cammy.
Yeah, absolutely. It was, like I said, you got to win the games that you got to win, and they made sure to squeeze every single opportunity out of that.
All right, well, Blackwater Mexico gets the game number 1 for us here. If you want to stay connected for all of ESL Mobile, make sure to hit ! socials so that you can follow us on Twitter, on Instagram, or wherever your socials are. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we are going to bring in Paul and Glitter to break down that game number 1.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the ESL Mobile Glitter.
You saw what I
qualified,
saw, right?
I did see that last game. It was a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, let's look at the highlights. But I feel like it's while it's a highlight clip of the whole game, is mostly just going to be Blackwater Mexico just absolutely dismantling every other squad in the lobby. This hard shift, when it went down towards the coast, I mean, the Erangel matchups have been insane here. I mean, Cam and Digon will attest. It created all this panic and chaos, and teams did an okay job of trying to find these moments, of order, or trying to make moments of order in that, utilizing their utility, the smokes, great executions like this from Teletubbies, beautiful compound breed. I mean, this is textbook. I kind of want Zute to watch this one back. It was really nice. But then through all of that, though, Blackwater Mexico was just, they had 14 kills at this point, Glitter. They were just checking boxes the whole game.
Yeah, I think the problem is, Paul, I think we might have more power than we realize, because going into this, you and I were both like, this is great because it's literally anybody's game. There's no massive blowout games that'll possibly happen, right? And Blackwater Mexico is like, no, hold on. We've got something to say about that.
I mean, we've seen them in our competitions for quite a long time here. They are no strangers to the ESL Mobile Open, and I believe they've played at like a higher like PMCO PMPL level as well. I want to go back and check my numbers on that, because they just looked so. Every single one of their players had pop-off moments. Every single one. And look, TY did a really solid job here, getting the team up to 7 kills. But look at this. Zero hesitation. Look at the snap on that. What sensitivity are you playing on? And there's just no hesitation. I mean, that's just tough to overcome.
It was their decision making. You could just tell the way they were working as a squad that they were on another level. So obviously your winner of our first game of the day is Blackwater Mexico. I mean, in a dominating fashion, because when you guys finally get to see the numbers, here we go, a 38-point chicken dinner. That is, I mean, I feel like that's unheard of yet so far. I don't think we've had that yet. No,
and for context, this number may not be 100% exact, but I think Nova Esports won our last ladder over 5 games with a total of like 84, 85 points. Maybe someone can check
I think
that.
it was somewhere around there.
They basically just did half of Nova's total day score in a single game. And there are a lot of teams down there with goose eggs or one, almost the 5. I mean, it's only been one game. It's only been one game. Well, you talked about point sponges, Glitter. That is the spongiest sponge we've ever seen.
Yeah, and like it's not even necessarily fair to really look at those second page numbers, because what can you even do in a scenario like that when you've got one team who takes 23 kills out of the lobby? I mean, there's no more points to get.
It was 81, by the way. So they're at 48% of Nova's total day score from the last ladder in a single game, which is totally going to change the narrative now, because now the question is was that a flash in the pan? Is that a performance they can repeat? And then additionally, who's the squad that's going to catch up if they can continue to put up impressive numbers like that? Who's going to challenge them?
Asking for a lot. You're asking for a lot.
I don't think they're ever going to be able to do that exact game again. But can they get close? Can they put up 15 kills? Can they put up 17? That even is what I would be like. I would consider impressive.
Okay. All right. Well, I personally think they might be able to. I'm not going to lie. But I also am looking at Teletubbies, because like you said, Teletubbies had some really, we were with them for, maybe the first half of that a lot. We got to see a lot out of them. They had some really good defense in that compound. We've watched them before. They've been highlighted in previous weeks, and we've seen some really strong teamwork out of them. They handled stressful situations well. They were good on getting the revives off. I mean, and we didn't call it out when we had the leaderboard up, but we were talking about it a little bit, watching all of this. They might have had, Blackwater MX might have had 23 kills, but their Lost Gaming had 7, Forza had 7, Teletubbies had 6. So there were other squads putting up big numbers. Yeah, and those are the good kind of consistent kill points. Like that's how you
put up these really nice numbers over the span of like a weekend or something. We only have 5 games. We only have 5 games, and now 4 left for these teams to get it done. We're going to find out because I'm getting word the next game is just about ready to get going, which means we need to head to a short break. Degon, Cameron Davis will be back with game number 2 in just a few.
I go ready for it.
Welcome to game number 2 after we say goodbye to Erangel and goodbye to a 40-something point, 48-point win. 38?
Wasn't it 38?
38?
Yeah.
Oh, whatever. Obviously, my math is bad, but I think we've been over that. Anyway, Cameron Davis, Deacon, going over game number 2, Miramar, and I think everyone is hoping that Blackwater, well, that they are an Erangel-only map because a huge gap has been created, and a lot of teams are going to try and climb that ladder back up and catch up. Here's the time to do it.
I appreciate our observers. I was like, there's only one team I want to see drop out of the plane, and it is team number 16, Blackwater, after one of the most impressive game number 1s we've seen in all of PUBG Mobile, in all of the Mobile Open. Man, that was crazy. Plane path, pretty fair for everyone. Whole map is in play, given the fact that this is a pretty massive map. Maybe if you were the island player, maybe not the greatest drop for you to head on over to Minas del Sur, but this one seems pretty fair. I don't think teams can complain about, hey, we didn't get to our spot.
No. This is about as perfect as you want it to be. I think if you were to like flip it 180 degrees, that would be like the real perfect one, because that would also include Prison Island, but no one really gets down there. But okay, we started. Okay, all right, we started to commend the game a little bit too soon. The algorithm, the API is just like, you thought this was gonna be a straightforward game. Nope. it had a trick up its sleeve. Hard west, circle 1, which is good for the team in Monte Nuevo and a couple other teams around El Pozo, but that's still, once again, going to be a lot of teams having to rotate next to each other.
Yeah, 2 teams in El Pozo. So that'll be something to keep an eye on with New Generation and Lost Gaming right next to each other. But other than that, I think everyone else is pretty spread out. We'll have to keep an eye on when the rotations come on in. Blackwater has a massive spread around San Martin and Hacienda del Patron with, I believe that is Extreme Ice and Sailing Pro also kind of in that area. Everyone else will have a pretty safe, pretty clear game plan on how they're going to both get in and get out. A lot of space in the south here. I don't know which teams will gamble on that, though, because they'll be so focused on, like, yeah, we got to get all the way on over to the west.
Yeah, it would be a gamble for most teams, but the Teletubbies, they dropped at Picado. They should have seen that there were very few, if any at all, parachutes going down that direction unless a team dropped super early. But I think that they would probably have the best information on Chumacero being open, being available. And even though Picado is a really good semi-central position here, pulling away from all those parachutes that they saw drop to the north could be another defensive decision. That's kind of how they played the previous game. So it wouldn't surprise me if they decided to do that again.
4-piece rotating on in. You can see the brown team south of Los Leones. They'll be to the south of the Teletubbies. Might be a thorn in their side as we await to see how teams will rotate on in. Following along right now with New Generation. Again, this is the team pretty safely in the circle by El Pozo, but has the team right next to him. This is Lost One. So we're going to keep an eye on this confrontation, and we'll have to keep an eye on Blackwater Gaming. They're still pretty spread far out next to Sailing Pro and Extreme Ice. So although a pretty, again, Miramar has been so interesting over the last, I would say, year of PUBG Mobile, where it's the biggest map, but there's a lot of space for teams to land on, but I constantly find that teams are putting themselves in these kind of standoff situations in Zone 1.
Listen, there are some big beacons of greed on this map. Because it's so big, if you want to go for a more widespread, what I call sometimes like a vulture drop, where you have like scattered compounds, they're even more stretched out here than they are on Erangel. So the idea of going to a city and having everything like right there in front of you, like a huge department store, is very tempting, which is why, as you mentioned, we have multiple teams dropping in the same area. At the same time, a lot of those cities, like especially Los Leones, but even El Pozo a little bit, it's big enough that you can allow multiple teams to loot up without that much of a threat of a fight breaking out.
So we've been
wow, not even picking up your friend.
Yeah. See ya. You're on your own. Following along with Blackwater here, they found themselves another vehicle. It looks like they have rotated themselves out of San Martin as 4. And a lot of teams starting to center up now on the map. You have, I believe it's Arabians now finding their way to Monte Nuevo. We followed along with the Conflict, New Generation, and Lost Gaming. They both have rotated out to El Pozo and now standing off somewhere else. So a lot of teams just like, yeah, you know what, we're in a good spot, but we're going to get a better spot. And yes, we're driving next to another team. There it is, New Generation and Lost Gaming now fighting off already. 1 kill already for Teo.
Oh, IGL is actually swinging in from the side, so they really want to... Well, yeah, okay, see, that's why you don't do that. Teo had really good initial damage, but maybe a little too gung-ho there for IGL. I feel like that's starting to become a bit of a trademark of that player.
Yeah, IGL, he dies early to focus on his namesake role here. But two members down here for Lost Gaming. Teo forced to rotate around. That nade didn't land. It is a 3v2, but Teo's the only one close here against Lost Gaming. His teammates are still in the process of clearing Pozo and rotating on in. Martinez and Mike now starting to join into the fight. You can see the other circle, the other gray circle on the minimap there. That's Mike. He'll be holding anchor right now. Is Martinez still in El Pozo?
you can just see that new generation and TO specifically, they don't actually have a lot of information on where the last two enemies are. They're still looking towards those trucks, still looking towards that small building, and eventually going to realize that they're all both last remaining players are in that 2-stack, the double story. But they're taking a lot of time here on this fight. They can't lose anyone else. You could already argue that it's not exactly worth it, but if they get the full 4 and they only lose IGL and they don't have to use too much of their meds as well to get more revives, then I think that would be like, this was a great take, this is a great push. But Last are not giving them any opportunity to finish it out. They're playing incredibly conservative, incredibly safe, not even peeking or revealing any of their bodies.
And just a quick update for our team in the lead right here. Blackwater Gaming did lose a member in the rotation out of San Martin. It was Sailing Pro that also was in the area. Edwin picks up the kill onto Mercy. Strap, the big gun, still alive for Blackwater Gaming. We'll keep that as it continues to develop here in zone number 1. More action already here in Miramar than what we had in Erangel, and we're not done yet because we still have 4 teams in the blue rotating on in, 2 of them on top of each other. So I'm expecting this kill feed to be lighting up here very, very soon.
Yeah, here's Blackwater. I guess picking up from their... No, they're just trading things out. For a second, I thought they were picking stuff off of a dead body, but they don't have any kills. So anyway, yeah, TO, back on this fight. It's gotten a little close, throwing a grenade in. It's not going to find anything, but it at least clears out the top level a little bit. And again, still just... So this is where the use of resource starts to come into question. For these last 2 kills for a position that's not even, like, guaranteed solid position in the late game, I'm surprised they've stuck around. But lighten up. They 1-for-1 trade. They can finish this out and get the revive. Still be positive.
Oh, Tio, you got to make sure you pick this one up. Yes, he's able to pick it up. They did lose Mike on that one. Again, Martinez shows up late. But New Generation do get the team white 4 kills, but now only 2 members still in zone number 1. Does it pay off as the zone has now popped? Are they inside? Yes, they are. They have a spot to hold for a little bit longer.
Yeah, again, I still... 4 kills, fine. Like, if they were a solid position on the leaderboard already, I'd say, yeah, that's you know, fine, that's good for them. That's like a nice little minimum points to gain per game, but I hope that they're not happy with the result of that, because they're going to be very, like, limping the rest of the game. But looking elsewhere, these are the teams that you're talking about fighting out in the blue. They are still all the way towards water treatment. And the circle has shifted away from them. They're going to have to continue on moving.
Yeah, that was All-Stars with the team wipe. They take out Nameless. The second time Nameless, I think, unfortunately for them, just run into a buzzsaw early, and they are out. Another team struggling on a rotation here is Budak Gaming. They ran into Unity north of El Pozo. You could see the one blue circle left alone. Yep, we're following along right now with 55, and 55 is all alone and going to have 4 of Unity members barreling down on him as long as that that zone is keeping them safe.
Hearing some rotations, trying to scare people away. Pre-fires as well. Very active control of essentially dead center of the circle, but they found them. They cornered them, and that's going to be it. That's a 3rd team gone. That's a lot of team wipes already in this game. Like, we're only 10 minutes in. It's rare enough to see an entire, like, single team getting wiped. The fact that we're already down to 13 teams, I mean, it's going to make the rest of the lobby a little lighter as far as rotations in circle 2 and 3.
Yeah, well, Juice, Strap, and the rest of Blackwater Gaming now getting caught in a fight inside the zone north of Montenuevo. Not a lot of ground here. You can see the buildings to the left of Blackwater Gaming, but that is a long run, so they're going to focus on the gunfight here with Extreme Ice. It is 4 members of Extreme Ice here as they are trying to hold Blackwater off and figure out what their next play is. It looks like Qin was able to get himself out of trouble along with one of the other members, but now Yami trying to get onto the bus. Will they be able to get out? It seems like it's okay for now. Viggles driving him and Yami out. The wheels are on fire. Will he be able to get themselves to safety? Yes, they will. And that was a close call there for Extreme Ice early on. And just, again, these rotations are turning into fights out of nowhere right now.
Yeah. But hey, Blackwater stabilized their position. They're holding on strong to this hilltop, but no one else seems to want to come challenge them just yet. We only have, well, a few seconds left before phase 3 pops.
Yeah, we might have yet another fight right now. V for Vendetta and Unity. We just saw Unity in the north over by El Pozo catch out that last member of Budok Gaming. They're rotating on the same road right now and fighting for the same position. And so just these rotations have just, you're running out of road. You can see right there one of the V for Vendetta members escaping with barely any HP. Circle about to pop. Let's see where we roam here. What major city will it be? Kind of a little bit more east of Monte Nuevo, but that's not a ton of space there, Cammy.
Yeah, it's a hard swing, and it's not exactly, there's some fair bit of field. There's a lot of, even if it's not literally field, there's still a lot of flat ground, and so I'm looking at 4 pieces position just to the east of La Gioia as like the best spot. SLP also with a good position, but that's also where all these teams are going to be rotating in from the west.
Unity's decided that enough. Yeah, they were like, hey, okay, we've driven by each other. We're okay. We've got ourselves, what, like 30 seconds to fight each other? Let's do it. So V for Vendetta and Unity now into another fight for Unity here in the north. And this time, in Zone 3, this one hurts. They're going to have to make a decision on their game plan. They do get an early knock, though.
Yeah. I like, okay, so this one I actually really like from Unity. The circle shifted away from them. They wouldn't have priority in the rotation anyway. They already have 4 kills. If they can get this wipe, get their kill points up to 8, and then they just make a wild send that they'd have to anyway. This is a really good game plan, but it's not coming so easy. One of them gets knocked. Avi falling behind, gonna try and med up time the energy drinks and the first aids and all that, and that's more knocks against Unity. So this line of scrimmage that they're trying to set up isn't really working out for them as much as they would have hoped. So, and there you see the retreat come in. It's not worth it anymore. They're bailing.
I can't believe it. Kabir like ran his buggy into a rock. That's the one the rock there. You see it right there. That's the one he ran into. And he was like left for dead. Unity's guns went blank for a little bit. And now V for Vendetta turn it around and pick up 2 knocks. They'll get 2 points here. And some time to either loot up, heal up, and then figure out a rotation on in. Now we're in with lost game. This is All-Star. All-Star able to get a knock there onto Arabians. Arabians will have hard cover with that destroyed vehicle. Nice little hill here and be able to pick up some of their teammates. You can see Rush It trying to figure out an angle. And he'll hang by his edge as well. These guys are fighting on the north of Monte Nuevo. Rushit is outside the zone, so he'll have to get on in and join Tunathan. Rushit able to land some shots there. Stealth able to pick one up as well. So Arabians maybe only down to 1 left alive. The revive will not come in time for one of them. So Arabians only has Berlin left alive. Berlin trying his best to land the shots onto Rushit, using the smoke, using the vehicle. The edge is not enough. Tunathan comes in and saves Rushit. Nice push there by All-Stars. 8 kills.
Yeah, very good systematic approach by them. They got some knocks. They rotated around, find the angle. So even though those first initial revives were likely going to come through anyway, All-Star put themselves in a position to then re-knock and then get the full wipe, and just in time before the blue closed in as well, so they can take a few moments to loot up, heal up if they need to, and then push forward in through the rest of the game. But here on the south, we have a couple other teams trying to fight for, this time not even map control, but just a way to escape, because we see another shift, not exactly a hard shift, a medium shift towards the east, and no one is in this circle. We've seen a couple of teams, a couple of caravans try and send it into those hills, but it's going to be a lot of scrambling for last second positioning.
Yeah, Forza right there next E2. And I think, you know, the idea was like, hey, let's get into these rocks early. It's going to be difficult to try and push into it, and we should be okay pushing out of it. But you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams that were all like, yeah, we'll play on the edge. It should be fine. V for Vendetta running straight into Aces. You can see the red reverberating circle there on the west as Aces is able to pick up a kill onto V for Vendetta. And I think they're just too chunked from that earlier fight with Unity. V for Vendetta just a tough, tough road on in. As we follow along with Aces now, they picked up a kill. Will Payne be able to dish some out before he goes to the blue? I don't think so. And it's time for one first aid and a last look at it. Maybe thinking about taking the vehicle and trying to send it. Yeah, here we go. Taking the
Problem
truck.
is, they got to, yeah, if they were at the top of a hill trying to go down, it would be a lot better. But just because the terrain, the way that, well, vehicle engines and momentum and all that good stuff works, have to be a little bit of a loopy route, but able to get inside.
Oh, no.
Very low HP. Is there going to be a seat swap coming their way? Payne is just pedaling to the medaling, trying to make it into the next safe zone, but who knows who's going to be standing in their way. They don't.
Yeah, that was hilarious because you saw him look over his shoulder and see another vehicle. That's Martinez from New Generation Gaming. We saw them. That was the first team that cleared out the first building. They were down to 2 members. Martinez, last one alive. He was like, yeah, 1-1. We'll just, be 2 ships sailing in the night.
Sailing Pro. They're one of the teams that was the first teams to try and rotate into center. And unlike their brethren just to the north and south that you can see on the minimap, they don't quite have a spread, but they do have hard cover, and all 4 are grouped up in the same position. It's going to give them some good turtling defensive capabilities.
We haven't
nice
seen
here. Yeah, they got to
seen
try cross over these roads, try and approach other buildings. They're going to have to be on the assault.
I was going to say Extreme Ice's pathway has to go through Blackwater, who we haven't really seen a ton from other than early on when they got into that fight from distance against Extreme Ice. So we might continue that battle here in this next approach.
Yeah, it's their time to shine right now. They have a really good position to lock these teams out onto the north side, and already Extreme Ice trying to back away, maybe trying to find a different avenue. They can try and loop around. The east side is pretty empty. They should have seen that, being able to watch over that position. But there's no need to move just yet. They're close enough to center that they can wait for the next circle to pop, because all the action now is happening down to the south. The Teletubbies, they're getting in the thick of it with V2. A lot of smoke, a lot of vehicle action coming into play, but Teletubbies are just holding the line, and that's a hard shift.
Yeah, it does keep it close to Teletubbies right now. It will force out all the teams except Forza. Forza's the only team inside. For Peace has 1 member on in, and it looks like Sailing Pro that had the hard cover have decided we're going early, and they're going to be the gatekeeper to a lot of teams, but it doesn't look like there are many hard cover places in this zone. Teletubbies still cleaning on up here. Haven't lost a member yet. 1 currently down, but they win the fight. And Teletubbies picking up their first clean ace. They've got 4 kills so far in this match number 2.
Revive on Poe comes up almost immediately. And now the hard shift wasn't directly on Teletubbies, but it was in their direction. So they have a couple of choices that they can make. They can either swing down along the edge of the blue, take the fight against the team right in front of them, or they can just try and sneak into the circle themselves. Unfortunately, by doing that, they will actually be sandwiching themselves, because this is another team just to the north. But it looks like that's... No, they're sending it. They're sending it towards Brown. Team 18.
All right, well, Forza is very spread out right now. There's only 2 members right here in front of Tinky Winky and the rest of the Teletubbies, the Groza in hand. And Joker is like, uh-oh. Joker trying to pick up 1, does get the knock on Pooh, has a line here onto Tinky Winky. Nice little movement here by Joker, but he does get taken down. No kills yet, but 2 knocks here. 3 knocks here for Teletubbies. So the casualties starting to pour on in. Here come the nades, and Forza hold so far. Only 1 knocked. But it's a 3v1 right now, as looks like Larry's going to go in for the finishes. There it is. Great hold there by Forza, who have been rotating along this southern side for such a long time. The first action they see, they don't blink. They pick up 4.
Such solid play there by Joker. Yes, he gets knocked, but look, you saw how long it took for them to drop to the ground. The name of the game was not to take that 1 versus 4, but to just stay alive, be a distraction, not allow Teletubbies to get a foothold, and allow the rest of the team to come on in, use that spread positioning that you commented on to find those extra angles, and then just wipe them all out, and they're able to hold down the southern side. And now they have suddenly so much room to play with, because everyone else is going to be on the northern edge of this shift.
A ton. They've got a ton of space right now. Hopefully they know it as well. Let's see where this zone pops. Blackwater Gaming has been keeping Extreme Ice at bay. Extreme Ice are now on the edge of the zone. D&D bot knock here for All-Stars was able to pick up a team wipe kill onto New Generation's Martinez. But now it seems like their luck has ended as All-Stars has to go all the way to the south. And there it is, bot knock gets killed to the zone. Who is that? I believe that's Sailing Pro trying to pick up the kill. They do not. Goes down to the zone. But Blackwater and Extreme Ice are kind of like watching each other to see who's going to move first. And Sailing Pro in a position where they can continue to punish. I believe that's Andy that is just watching Blackwater, Extreme Ice, and the final member of All-Stars, Stealth. The zone moving very, very soon here, Cammy.
Ooh, Extreme Ice. They're falling away from the Blackwater fight. They want to get into the circle, but let's see what Forza's spread position that you can see on the map is going to do for them. Sailing Pro is already inside the zone. And so 4-Piece and Blackwater are the last two teams that are 100% outside of the next safe zone. And the fights really aren't happening for any of them. We're seeing a couple of kills, a couple of knocks, but no one's full sending it onto each other. They're all just trying to get a solid central position here in Blackwater. They're going to try and take it.
Yeah, here we go. They try to push on into the compound. Forza, remember, they like to play pretty spread. As Hugo gets absolutely blown up, and Extreme Ice might be holding a little bit longer. They've only lost one. Now they've lost two because Forza is starting to third party on it and pick up the points. Forza winning that fight early has been huge. Now 4-Piece's 78G gets knocked off the back of the buggy. Down he goes, and that is a huge, huge hold there for Forza. Blackwater still has one up. It's Strap. Stealth 9, who was the last one alive here for All-Stars, finds Andy sleeping alone. He could have gone out all the way in 11th, now up to 5th place with 9 kills for All-Stars and a lot of damaged teams here other than Forza. You've got Sailing Pro and you've got Blackwater. Stealth just trying to run on in and pick up a fight. What a beam there, and he knocks out yet another team. Then Larry puts him down, and without doing anything, Strap and the rest of Blackwater Gaming go all the way up to 2nd place.
Listen, 10 kills and 3rd place. Stealth 9, like, that was an amazing final few moments, clutching out those last few points. Yeah, it's not the win, but it is still a solid game for them. And now Forza, this is their game to lose. They could absolutely throw this, give Strap an opportunity to 1v4, but the chances of that happening are very, very slim. They've triangulated their position. Estimated guess?
They're pretty close. Oh, they found him! Yeah, Strap doesn't have the magic on that one. He goes down, and Forza, after holding the South and winning a huge, huge team fight early on against the Teletubbies, turned that one into a double-digit kill chicken dinner.
Yeah, it's not the same thing as Blackwater's win, but it is still an incredibly, incredibly solid game. But we have to note it. Blackwater, they didn't just fall off. Sure, they got 0 kills, but they were able to get themselves a 2nd place placement. So they're still climbing up that leaderboard. The gap might be a little bit smaller now, but it's not completely shrunk just yet.
Yeah, again, and as you said, huge, huge ups to All-Stars, to specifically Stealth, to make that hero play. It was him and Botnock with 11 teams up. Botnock got caught into all the crossfire, and when the chaos started happening, when Blackwater ran into that compound with Extreme Ice, that's when Stealth made his move. He shot all the way up from 11th to 3rd, 10 kills, 3rd place. That was huge for him. And I look at Extreme Ice. They had the early fight with Blackwater Gaming. They had him across the road at the gas station, and they weren't able to convert. Those are the types of, I think, VOD reviews that are going to be hugely helpful for them in the future, as they're like, man, what could we have done better? Is it just straight up guns? And I think with the way that map played out, that there has to be a lot of rotational learnings for all these teams.
Yeah, 2 games, 2 winners. We'll see how these teams continue to climb up the leaderboard, or if we do eventually see a fall off as we head towards Sanhok later. Now, if you also want to keep up with everything going on with ESL Mobile, hit !social in the chat, and you can stay up to date on everything that's happening. That's it for us for now. Hitting a quick pause as we go to a break. Paul and Glitter will be back in a short while to break that down, and we have 3 more games remaining. Don't go anywhere.
Hello, everyone.
and welcome. Welcome back to the ESL Mobile Open. I am Glitter Explosion. That one's in Virum.
That's me. Oh, we're back. Look,
And-
the games have been so good, Glitter, all right? I can't help myself. All right? Look, I'm all gassed up, all right? These plays have been amazing. I'm really I'm excited. Well, before we get to the gameplay, let's talk about let's do it. Let's talk about a great cause.
Yeah, and the great cause that he's referencing is anykey.org. Guys, we talk to you about them all the time. More information can be found at anykey.org, but we need you to sign the Good Luck Have Fun pledge, okay? We're promoting diversity and inclusivity in gaming and esports. It's an amazing cause. Miriam and I have signed the pledge.
Oh, yeah.
You should too. But if you need more convincing, we have a video from some more amazing people within the community, so let's check it out.
My name is Jordan Gilbert, aka Nothing.
Hi, my name is Sue Lee. My handle is Smix. I think it's important for these initiatives to happen. Empathy really, really goes a long way, and it always means so much to us, and I think that's where initiatives like this really help.
I encourage everyone in the community, anytime they see bullying, anytime they see someone getting called names, I encourage you to step up and say something.
Good luck, have fun.
Good luck, have fun.
I mean, look, if you're not listening to us, Nothing, Smix, pillars of the community, and a lot of awesome people, over 1 million people, in fact, have signed the pledge. So you should definitely be one of them. If you see me typing away in Twitch chat, got that exclusive AnyKey badge there. You can use it across anywhere on the platform. So I highly recommend you go check that out. And while we're checking things out, oh my goodness, the highlights from that last game, because there was some action, Glitter. That game had huge pop-off moments, incredible team fights back and forth, and moments like this where players were just given opportunities to say, this is my game.
See, and this is, it ties into everything that we were talking about from our first game, because I had said while Blackwater Mexico might have had an obviously insanely phenomenal game, there were some other squads for us to be keeping our eyes on based off of their next level kills as well. They weren't at 23, but Forza, 7 kills last game. Now one of the squads that we're going to be talking about here in our second game, because they are the winners of game number 2. We saw so many other teams stepping up to play. Obviously, you know, that was bound to happen, but there were fantastic fights.
Oh, absolutely. Even that turn right there, the outgunning. I mean, these players are firing on all cylinders right now. Ooh, Rush It living with 1 HP there at the end. Yup. Oh my goodness. These AK sprays have been absolutely disgusting. And then there's those moments like that. That's me. That's all of us right there. So focused on the player in front of us that we get shot in the butt. I can sympathize.
It's the angles. Okay, you got to pay attention to all of your angles. And now we get to check in with Forza, like I was saying before, the winner. I mean, the cleanup, it was the utility and then the cleanup. He just knew. They honestly, they had phenomenal positioning. They kept their eyes on everybody that was around them and picked them off one by one. Blackwater Mexico, we have to give them a little bit of credit here, because they might have gotten 0 kills. However, they managed to worm their way all the way into a 2nd place finish, and that's at least a decent chunk of placement points. And when you take into consideration their points from last game, they're still in a very comfy spot.
Oh, they are indeed. But Forza is looking to close the gap a little bit. Blackwater, 23 kill points. Forza now, 21.
Whew.
Catching up in a big way there. But still, 50 points in 2 games is incredible. But there are definitely some contenders who can, you know, I would say Lost Gaming and above could truly make a strike at them over these next 3 games. I got to give props, though. We talked about earlier, like when you have some unfortunate fight situations, you can't get the kills early on, knowing when to snake, when to play for placement points. I got to give props to Blackwater as well for being able to execute that without even getting a single kill, which unfortunately for Nameless, Glitter is the same position they're in.
I know, but they didn't even have an opportunity. Once again, Forza, huge sponge. I mean, only 2 kills behind Blackwater MX. So when you're those teams that are in a position where any other enemy squad is having a game like Blackwater MX or like Forza just had, you are trying to eke out any point in any scenario, whether that's an additional placement point, if you can sneak a kill here and there, because there's not a whole lot going around.
Yeah, and it's one of those moments where one of two things can happen. Either you let it kind of crush your spirit and you get down on yourself because I can't compete, these guys are playing too, or you use it to galvanize yourself and your team and say, wow, look at how good that team is doing. We know we can do that too. We need to pop off as well. And we'll see which team is going to be the one to do it as we head on over to a Rumble in the Jungle. Sandhawk coming up next. We need to head to a short break, and when we come back, right into the action. We'll see you in a few.
I go ready for it. 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 I go ready for it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the ESL Mobile Open North American PUBG Mobile Fall Ladder 2 Finals game number 3. Oh, I love it when I get it right. All the way on through here in Sandhawk. Degon and Cami D, still waiting for your suggestions for our caster names. Have you gotten any suggestions for us from the audience, all of our fans there, Cameron?
No, like it's only Cami Degon. That's the only one that we get, and that's, I don't know, I think it's too easy.
It's too easy. You know, it's maybe
It's my entire name and your entire name. Like that's I don't know, it just doesn't, I feel like it's almost cheating.
We're looking for one that isn't too easy, but not too hard, but just right. Hopefully we'll be able to find one very, very soon here that's just perfect for us. You know, it's like when you lay in a bed and it's just, conforms to my body. That's great. All right, so here we are. Circle ridiculousness. Yeah. We're going all the way to the northwest.
Like, honestly, we've commented how the plane, even if it's at its most extreme, is still relatively workable on Sandhawk. The circle, even at its most extreme, is still relatively workable on Sandhawk. This game, with that super high north plane and then the super far northwest circle, I think is challenging us on that, because this, like, do you go to the Northwest Island super early? What if there is a hard shift towards the east or towards the south? And then how do you play around the rivers? And that's, of course, if you're not one of the unlucky teams who from the North Plain path try to go all the way down south, like 4-piece, like Extreme Ice, like SLP. They're now going to have to loot up and then immediately drive all the way back up north. It's, ugh.
I know. Sailing Pro is going to wish to be able to cast a Wingardium Leviosa right now to get themselves all the way on over to the Northwest Island. It's going to be tough, but again, Sandhawk, it's one of those where as soon as some of the fighting happens, it just happens right away. So as long as Sailing can avoid a lot of it, then maybe they'll be able to sneaky snake their way out. But this is just... how much percentage do you in this island that's playable right now, Cameron?
Oh, like the Northwest Island specifically? Maybe like 35%. And look, already there's action popping off because of it. There's already a kill going in the way of Unity. And Star, well, they're still in the thick of it as well. They're not out of it just yet.
Just hanging out right now, Unity. We've seen them in these rotation fights so often. So often. I think they picked 3 in Miramar alone last time. And that third one was the end of them. But they just constantly are ones that are catching out kills and able to turn them into points here. First kill of the map. That one was pretty fast. Almost a world record. We'll see what else they're able to do as they hang around All-Star. That's not what they wanted, All-Stars. They are the second leading kill leaders of the tournament so far. 14 kills for them. Huge, huge performance on Miramar, but going to be a little bit tougher as now they're stuck between Unity. You can see that there, the yellow team. Between Unity and below Forza, who has control of the cliffs. That's the primo spot in this Northwest Island.
Another similar situation down here across the river between the Teletubbies and I believe Blackwater. It looks like the Teletubbies, they're trying to leave this situation. They're just going to go, looking like they're going to go across the water and then loop up through the south side behind where you see Aces already making their way. The question is Blackwater chase? Because with the amount of land in this first circle, if you have a possibility of clearing out opponents, whether it's a full team or even a couple of different members, you really want to take it as quickly as you can. Because who's to say like what's going to happen if it starts to get super clustered, super tight population-wise, even on circle 2?
Well, final log right now with Blackwater they're heading south. They want to clear out the area around them before they start moving straight on in. They're heading towards Painan, and the rest of the Teletubbies have an idea that the Teletubbies are there. But we'll just kind of hang out for this first circle as it is moving on in. Sailing Pro still hanging out. Extreme Ice still hanging out. They haven't rotated out, and they're pretty far away.
Hey, they also got their loot spots all the way down south super late, so they know they're coming into the circle last. Be as kitted as possible. I want those backpacks. Like, I want them to have as much loot that they would need those vacuum sealers to get everything shoved in those backpacks. Like, that's how much they're going to want to have.
They're prepared. They're prepared for anything.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like when you're trying to go on vacation and your parents or siblings or someone is just like trying to pack their entire wardrobe. It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. We're going for 3 days. We don't need 7 outfits. Four piece here also rotating in. Yeah, all the way down from the south. This is the bridge. They're not the first to cross this to get into the circle. And I don't think they're going to be the last either. I expect to see 1 or 2 more teams make their way up. Doesn't look like anyone's guarding it at the moment. Oh, a boat play. You rarely ever see this happen on Sanhok.
But also, it rarely gets sniffed out, too, right? Over in Erangel, you see a lot of the teams try to use that from Military Island and rotate on through, or go from, like, Ferry Pier down to Military Island. Not necessarily the way it works here. A lot of the time, they're just like, yeah, we're rotating late, so we'll just take the scenic route and no one will catch us. As you can see the kill feed start to light up a little bit. Teams starting to bump into each other. Unity and Budak Gaming now starting to touch circles in terms of color.
Yeah.
That's who we're following along with right now.
Yeah, Budak just crossed the river from the main East Island, and Unity, they now are potentially sandwiched between Budak and All-Stars, depending on if All-Stars has moved or not. I don't see it on the mini-map. And it looks like the freedom to all look eastward, and a little bit of damage. Just keeping them pinned behind that rock. There seems to be a single found there. But still, the kills out there is like 1 remaining.
And Mosey can't quite get the angle, and the Unity still just gonna hold off. They know it's still number 1, so they can't do too much about it.
It's all about spacing right now because it's not All-Stars, but it is another team potentially overlooking their position from the tippy-top high ground of that mountain there. But I like how Unity are still trying to stay proactive, really feel out where exactly they can position themselves. This is another fight breaking out, actually. Who is this? 4-piece? Trying to approach
and Aces.
Yeah, these are the two teams that had crossed that far western long bridge. Looks like Aces weren't really set up in a way to kind of gatekeep anyone out. So 4-piece sliding on in. Potential opportunity to get some damage and upset a team's positioning.
Yeah, a lot of holding here. I think Unity is starting to go on the hunt here for Teletubbies. That might be another confrontation that is just happening here in this Northwest Island. I can't believe only two players have been finished off so far. I feel like I've seen the kill feed pop up 3 or 4 times now.
Yeah, there's been a lot of knocks, but the confirmations haven't really been there just yet. But I think once we get more and more teams trying to make their way into Circle 1, it's going to be a little bloodier. Those gravestones are going to be a little more populous. Grenade doesn't make its way through its window. The 4-piece have this wall that they might want to continue pushing up alongside with the rocks. Like Aces, they don't really have that much of a spread. There was that one player that we saw on the far north behind the wall, but everyone else seems to be inside that building. But yeah, there's the real threat. Someone could easily peek them from the east, and I think that threat is there, so they're going to be backing away.
Here we go. That was the party I was talking about earlier. It was Teletubbies and Unity going back and forth. And everyone is hearing Aces looking exactly at the direction that fight is happening. Because the whole lobby can hear it. And with that, I believe that is all of Unity knocked and killed by Teletubbies. So Teletubbies finding a win in the primetime slot there.
Yeah, Unity out of the frying pan into the fire. And they're 12th place coming into this game, so this is not a good run for them so far. If they can pick up those last 2 rounds coming up, then we might see a different Unity ahead of us. But at least for now, we saw a glimpse of the second circle. There is still a whole bunch of water, but the upside is that it is all but confirmed that it is going to be on the main Northwest Island, which means that the high ground, the top of that mountain, very, very valuable.
Ooh. Yeah. Now following along with the fight that we saw earlier is Budak Gaming and All-Stars. And All-Stars now starting to approach the final member here of Budak Gaming. Not looking so great here. It is Lol that is just laughing his way around the zone. I think he might have hit around Botnock. Botnock might have seen him now. Oh.
Just trying to make something work as a solo player.
Run away.
Get as many kills as possible, potentially. Placement at this point is, well, it's a pipe dream, really.
I don't think Tunathan knows where he's at. Yeah, he does. Okay.
They do now. Yeah. Once they cleared that wall, it's like, oh, wait, where else could he have gone? That rock. And no one is here contesting. No one is here third-partying and being sort of a guardian angel to Budak.
Yeah, well, they hold it. Lol.
They've backed off. Interesting.
Lol's bought enough time. I mean, you can see the arrows of the purple players of the minimap. They're all facing his direction. They just want to clear. BDD Lol does not see the flank. Bodnock doesn't see him. It's so close. There it is. Sees the leg. Ow, that's my calf. There goes the Lol. He's out.
Listen. That's the downside of trying to focus on your drip when you're out in the battlefield. Your shiny shoes, your shiny gold, platinum, Kanye West, Drake, Rihanna, branded shoes. Like,
What?
they're gonna get spotted from a mile. I don't know.
Beyonce has Ivy Park. Kanye has, his Yeezy Boosts. I don't think Drake has a signature shoe. He just wears the Jordans.
I don't know these things.
That's okay. I got you. Extreme Ice going to lose one as well in the process of rotating on in. 2 teams out. Still a lot remaining. Aces, they're starting to push. You could see them fight on in. The enemies in front of them, but I believe that was 4-piece taking shots from distance. And then Sailing Pro, we saw them go boating earlier. They tried to rotate around, ran into New Generation. So we have fights all over the map so far with Aces and Extreme Ice, New Generation, and Sailing Pro.
The name of the game right now, considering the amount of land in play, is just to try and clear your quadrant. Unless you're the lucky teams that are in the center on the high ground, then just sort of hang out and make sure you don't overextend your defenses. But yeah, Aces right now continuing to push in a different team. I saw a tag off on right above this guy for a split second. Was that in the distance or was someone on the roof?
Well,
Okay.
it's kind of
I don't know what I saw. I'm seeing
Yeah.
things. It's a poltergeist.
Go to just hold in here, the building next to Extreme Ice. Ace is kind of spread out here. I think this is a good thing, but if they are able to break through the lines of sight and push into the building that Gotu's in, he's going to have a hard 1v2 as nice little pickup here by New Generation. They pick up yet another kill, and New Generation now not doing too bad. They've held this northern part, which is center of the circle, and have raked in 5 kills so far out of the however many that has left us. I believe that's 16.
Ooh. Grenade is being prepped. Extreme Ice. They want to clear the threat. Not going to make it good cook, but wasn't perfect. So the sound cue was there. Left them to back away from that window. A little bit of a lull in the action, it seems.
Yeah, I think teams did their early looting, early rotations on in, and now they're comfortable with holding spots. Without
not a safe angle to hold, my dude.
Oppose.
Back away. Crawl away.
Another fight breaking out now. The kill feed showing Blackwater Gaming and All-Stars on the eastern side as we fought along there. Great job, observers. Thank you very much. Juice starting to push his way on in, and this is them trying to push into a compound, and they have to do it quick. They don't know it, but Lost Gaming is behind Blackwater, Mexico here. So Blackwater has to make a decision soon.
Oh, I love that. Blackwater actually have a member up on the high ground already to try and keep the rest of All-Stars pinned in, but they're not just trying to get into the circle. They want to get these kills. I mean, Blackwater already are a really good position on the leaderboard, so they do have some flexibility and freedom to be a little more wild with their gameplay, but this could still net them a huge bonus. Not only with clearing out All-Stars and then have a member to shepherd them in once that's all said and done, but right now All-Stars are not peeking out. They're not giving them the opportunities. And that is going to be a bit of a catch-22. But I think this high ground position is going to be what wins this standoff for Blackwater. That is, of course, unless we see another team come into the fray.
Yeah, but there's no one behind Mercy. There's nobody close. We saw V2 get a little close to the buildings, but they just picked up a vehicle and ran away as Juice bleeds out Ning there, and they're going to go back for more.
A lot of utility, but still no follow-up knock. At some point, they're going to run out of time. I think they're trying to fall away. They're realizing that this isn't worth it anymore. All-Stars, too defensive for Blackwater's liking, and they seem to be backing off. But at least they're aware of their positioning and could try and punish this push in. Good shift for both of these teams, but yep, there it is. The knock does finally come through from the high ground.
Yeah, great play there by Blackwater to set this one up, gamble what the rotation was going to be, and then benefit off of it. You could see TYZZ for Lost Gaming is by themselves, swimming underneath. Nameless to the north of them. So this eastern side is going to still be crowded, even after the result of this Blackwater fight here, as Hugo's in trying to get the jump shot to land here. All-Star's not going to go down without a fight. They're able to pick one off around the scaffolding of the building. There it is. And one more member inside of the building. Will he be able to hold on? Will he be able to take one more with him? It's Botnock. Botnock holding the corner. Runs on through. Third party not very kind to him. And no, he goes down, and it's clinical here by Blackwater.
Only one knock against them. Unfortunately, it was the anchor player. But looks like they were able to crawl back into their teammates to get the revive. They lost the high ground positioning during this fight. And you can see on the map on the right side that it is being overtaken by other teams. Fortunately, the shift is not going to be at the zenith of that mountain. The game is likely going to end on that slope heading in towards the north. So that high ground maybe not as useful as it would have otherwise have been. But still, very, very useful for the time being. You can see that being exploited by Forza up here. Getting some shots, getting some damage. Only one kill. But still, it's upsetting an opponent team.
He has players all around him. I don't know if he knows, or he's like, yeah, they can't do anything to me, so I'm going to focus on aiming down into 4-piece. But it's the Teletubbies that are all around them. Meanwhile, another fight happening in the north. New Generation, who has, I believe, 5 or 6 kills so far, now starting to get pushed by Extreme Ice.
I think Teletubbies are below Ferrari. So, very much separated. Oh, here comes the push. Here comes the push from 4-piece. Ferrari sees that. Here's the shot, so they didn't...
Oh, no!
They don't know!
Oh, no, they don't know!
Here comes the exploit.
And Jokerson, he messes it up. Reloads early. It might give him time. They have no idea where the shots are coming from, though. Will the crawl work on through? No, it doesn't. And the Teletubbies are getting ripped to pieces here.
They can get one revive, I think. But yeah, now they're incredibly worried about the threat from the high ground. And there's even another member of Ferrari just far there, down there on the south. That's not even to mention the blue. It's closed in. I think that's going to be it. Or mostly it for 4-piece. They still have a couple members alive. They're actually just barely inside this circle, but it's moved away from them. So their run, it hasn't ended.
Yeah, 4-piece is fine. Aces rotated on south and picked off those knocks that Jokerson had for Forza. And so, you know, Forza did all the work. Aces say thank you very much. We'll take the kill points. And now Teletubbies are left with Poe, left alone in between multiple. He's going to try to take some shots, but probably will be finished off here. Gets the knockdown to Drago. And Jokerson is still just hovering over. This is so tough for anyone that wants to rotate on in. 4-piece, Aces, and even Extreme Ice will have a not so easy rotation on in. New Generation being forced out of their northern position will have to move as well. Only Forza inside the circle.
A couple of lone vehicles send it up that hill. But yeah, look at all that empty ground. It's not exactly a field because it's not flat and it's not being used currently for agriculture. But it's still wide open with sparse cover. And so that's going to give these teams ripe opportunity to just punish the teams coming in from the edge. That is, if the blue doesn't do it for them.
Teletubbies Poe picked up 2 kills there on Aces member that were focused on Jokerson up top, and so Teletubbies live on for a little bit longer. Nameless, this is the team that was outside of Blackwater Gaming and All-Stars earlier, now rotating themselves on in. Larry has control, but it's Extreme Ice very, very close to Forza here. Underneath them, specifically, you can see through the rocks, a difficult position for both teams to do anything. You just kind of sit and wait. Teletubbies have been finished off. It was Qin for Extreme Ice picking that one off. Teletubbies go out in 9th place. Nameless now in control. They finished off Blackwater, Mexico. Nice job there by them as we continue to follow along with Larry as he wants to get rid of all of Extreme Ice below him. V2 and V4 Vendetta are all stuck in the north, and here comes the zone. They're going to have to move very soon, and Nameless will pick up these points. Currently sitting on 3. Haven't done a ton in the day, but now in position to get a ton from this map number 3. Oh, Primo forced to run away from that one. That was close there for the Forza man on the rocks. He'll be able to get to cover and heal on up.
So I admit I lied. This looks like this circle with that hardship towards the south is going to end on the high ground. And look at all this dead area these teams have to run through. Even the ones that punished other teams going through that dead zone now have to do it, now have to commit to it themselves. And oop, that's a buggy. That's going to give some information. No, that's another guy. Oh, okay, all right. That's fine. That's fine. We're good. They're making their way in. They suspect that it's someone else's buggy. They are relatively confident that there's a player still down that channel. The other question is, where can they even move? The blue has locked them in. I don't even know if they can approach the ridge to even get up that hill unless they want to tank a lot of zone damage.
Well, gunfight going down right now. It is a 4v2 v1v1. And there it is. The two just got finished off there as Extreme Ice go out in 4th place. Nameless still with an opportunity here. Actually, I lied. It was a 2v3 v1v1. Now, Teo still alive, now taking shots at the opponents while Forza is repositioning. Gets a knock there onto KB. And so Teo, the Lone Ranger here, might be able to get one more place for New Generation, who has had a pretty solid showing so far. 8 kills so far for New Generation. Maybe we'll get the finish here on KB. And G on the outside tried to see if he could get a good angle. Not able to. Teo will loot on up, but the blue is closing on in to the member. Primo holding the angle. I don't know if anyone can see. And Teo, I think he's going out in a blaze of glory. Yeah.
Oh, hey, Ferrari, they want this kill. They want this final point. That could be a tiebreaker if it comes down to it.
Primo's going. Teo might pick it. Oh, Teo gets him. Will he finish him off? Yes, he will. So an extra point there for Teo. I think that is New Generation getting all the way to 11 kills. 11 kills for New Generation. Forza with the early rotation to the rocks get themselves the chicken dinner along with 9 kills.
Yeah, and just, you can see how difficult that terrain can be to manage in the late game. I forget who exactly it was in that last 1v2 against Teo, but you could tell that they considered running away, trying to go through the blue zone. I'm not going to take this 1v1, try and get replacements, but then realized, no, it's way too far to run. Too much damage is coming my way. They had to turn around and take that fight, and, well, they turned around right into a grenade. So, good play by Teo for New Generation, as you mentioned, to get up there in points. But is that a second win in a row for Ferrari?
Forza able to pick off yet another
the car one, the car name.
I know,
right.
you keep calling it Ferrari. I was like, Forza Ferrari, maybe, yeah. No, Forza able to get a win on the board. I don't think that's their second one, though. I feel like that is another great performance by them. So we'll get it all sorted out with Paul and Glitter on the desk after we take a short break. They'll break it down, and we'll bring game number 4. Make sure to head on over to our social media stuff. Hit it! !social in your chat so that you can get linked with all of the good stuff. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, the breakdown, and then into game number 4. See you in a bit.
welcome back to ESL Mobile Open Ladder 2 Finals for PUBG Mobile. I'm Glitter Explosion.
And I'm a Baron.
Hey, we did it this time. We did it this time. And yet another really, really solid game coming out of all of our squads here. Forza, back to back. Okay.
And they did it convincingly both times. It's not like it was some scrappy, crazy, 1v1 necessarily. It was like multiple players up, whole team in position, doing the work. And I mean, this was one of the most Sandhawks we've seen. This was action start to finish. I called for a rumble in the jungle, and Glitter, oh boy, did the jungle deliver.
Every single time, man. I always get so excited when we get to watch these games because it really is one of those maps where any single squad has an opportunity to end up with the chicken dinner, but you asked for it at the beginning of the show so that you wanted to see which squads had the consistency that would carry them through to the top of the leaderboards by the end of today. And Forza so far seems to be that squad.
I mean, after Blackwater, Mexico put up 48 points in the first game alone, we said, this is crazy, this is too much, no one will be able to catch them. Not only has Forza caught them, they have passed them with these back-to-back chickens. An incredible feat in 3 games, Glitter. And it's the fact that they're able to stay so calm under pressure. I mean, these circles on this finish, this is a toxic finish, Glitter. These are toxic.
I mean, it was insanely toxic, but that's why it was entertaining. Forza had phenomenal positioning the entire time. Although we do need to give a shout out to Extreme Ice as well. I mean, we saw them doing the botate super early on. It ended up paying off for them overall. They get some really, really solid position points there at the end, so placement points. So, I mean, solid game across the board, but Forza Gaming, back-to-back chicken dinners, looking very, very strong right now.
Yeah, and able to put up 27 kill points. Super impressive there. 30 kill points.
I'm sorry, I'm so confused. Yeah. Is that wait,
yeah.
What?
Yeah, like I said, they passed them. So Blackwater, after the first game of getting 48, has only gotten 7 points in the last 2 games. That is, and we talked about consistency, how important it was going to be. That is not the flip they needed. That was all the way on and all the way off. Oh my goodness. And Forza.
No. It was 38 in the first game. That can't be right because they had a second place.
Okay, no, 30,
they had
40,
second place finish, so they had those 12 points from the placement points.
Okay,
don't worry. It's okay. It's okay. We got it.
That's better.
We got there.
Oh boy.
You know what? Nameless jumped up the leaderboards as well. The last time we checked in with them, they were in 16th. Now they're in 10th after having a much more solid game on Sandhawk. And like we were saying, that is that map. Sandhawk's that one opportunity to just embrace the chaos and really get some points on the board.
100%. And again, this is now meaning that with 2 games left, so many more openings, so many more opportunities are happening. Teams, I think basically any team in that top 5 could justifiably make a run at it here over these last 2 rounds. We're going back to maps that we've already seen. And that's important, Glitter, because drop locations, rotations are going to be a factor. However, as we've noted, there have been some rather wonky first circles and plane paths. So I'm not sure really how much of an impact that's going to have, but it might have some.
I mean, if the game is feeling frisky and wants to give us some water in the next 2 games, I mean, we saw it last time in our last ladder finals. I wouldn't be mad about it if we got to see something crazy like that. I mean, there is some potential for scouting, but like you were saying, we've seen some insane circle plane path combos right off the rip. And to be fair, the teams have adapted very well. I mean, we saw in a lot of those hard shifts, even we heard Dion and Cam saying like, okay, they've all rotated into X area. Will this work out? And it shifts in their favor. And they have that instinct, that pro player instinct. So we'll see if it can continue to carry through in the last 2 games.
We'll see if they can be better than me not hitting my mute button as I attempt to shift positions here. We'll see if their positions and positioning and routing could be a little bit better this time around, because it's going to come down to this: 2 more matches to decide their fate. Who can get it done here for our second ladder finals of the fall season? We're going to head to a short break. When we come back, right into the action with game number 4.
Welcome to map number 4 in the ESL Mobile Open North America ladder to finals. We are on Erangel and Dagon. I found a great suggestion for our pairing name. You want to hear what it is?
I'm very excited for this. Let's hear it.
It's actually good. It's Don Cam. Now maybe I'm biased.
What?
Maybe there is something about that name that I appreciate. But I don't know. I think we should stick with it. I'm fine getting that one tattooed if you are.
Don Cam? Like
Yeah.
like you were the king of Miramar, Don Cam?
No. It's just how 2 names combined.
I don't know about that. You
Not sold
just
on
took
it?
your name. It's just Cam.
Well, yeah, but like, you're
What if it was
part of it too?
Dom Can, like Dominic and then a Can, right? That
Dom
at
Can.
least combines the names.
I don't know. That one's not working for me.
All right. Well, keep them coming. Make sure to @Cammy D with multiple M's in the middle of his tag. On
Just
Twitter.
roll a dice. See how many M's you want to put in there.
Yeah, I tried to put 2 M's and you don't show up. I was like, oh,
Nope.
okay. Why too early?
3-letter game. Game. Whatever. Anyway, back to the game, and whoo, it was a good playing path. But circle number 1, still not friendly. Glitter got her wish.
This is going to put a ton of pressure onto our lobby-leading back-to-back chicken dinner winners, Forza, as they make the long trip south to military base. I believe that's going to be the only team doing that. So, yeah, it's going to be a big rotation out for them. I think they've done a good job scouting around, realizing, hey, no one else is here, so we can loot up as much as we want. Ace's go-to looks like he connected a little late, so that'll be the only other person in all of military base that Forza has to worry about. Everyone else seemed to drop safely, pretty spread on out. Let's see, we'll zoom on into the Pachinki, Ruins, Razak. Yeah, everyone has their spot. No contested areas in this early drop. The only one maybe there, Primorsk. You've got a little bit of the blue and a little bit of orange. That is, what is that? V for Vendetta and V2.
A lot of V's down there. But yeah, there's a little bit of tightness, as you said, in Primorsk, as well as around Razak and School. But considering that Game 1 didn't really reveal a lot of primary drops for these teams, I think this is pretty good, all things considered. And quite a few of them have an easy path into the first circle if they're not already in it. It's just a few teams around the farm area, and then, of course, Forza here in Novo. And looking at their positioning and the fact that they went to Novo itself instead of Sosnovka, I wonder if they're going to go for a boat strategy. They are in such a solid position on the leaderboard that, you know, they still want to make sure they stay ahead of Blackwater after this game, but they don't need to go for any wild plays. I think, granted, if you have the gas cans, grabbing some boats, swinging all the way up around Milta Power, around the Povka, around Kameshki, all the way up to Severny for Circle 1, I don't know, we could see it happen.
Yeah, I like how there's a strong possibility it does happen after we said on Sandhawk. Rarely happens successfully on Erangel, but here we are. We've called the play. As it's still a little slow, it seems like teams are just looting up here in a lot of space in that northern area. Stalber, Yasnaya, uninhabited right now. Got another suggestion, and I think this is the leader in the clubhouse from our friend Toffees, Mr. Stephen Pierce. He hit us with
Toffees Pierce?
Yeah, Stephen Toffees Pierce. He hit us with the D-Gammy. I like that one a lot.
Okay, you know what? That's up there. That's up there.
Yeah, D-Gammy, leader in the clubhouse. Again, make sure to send us your suggestions on our casting duo name, but I like D-Gammy.
Oh, yeah, we'll look at that one. Yeah. I see Cadgon.
Cadgon? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cadgon isn't bad.
Cadgon, yeah. All great suggestions. But our applications are not closed yet, so keep sending them in.
Fought along with Extreme Ice, Glitter called him out in that last game, being able to convert some of their positions into points, and that was something that I wanted to see them do in map number 2, Miramar, when they had Blackwater Gaming on the ropes. And right now, you can't quite see it yet, but in Pachinki is Blackwater Gaming. That is where they're driving right on by. We might get a preview of it early on yet again here, as they are rotating away, but Blackwater Gaming always looming large. And it always seems like the front runner team lands on Pachinki. Why? Why is that? Why is that?
I mean, Pachinki is by far the best place to drop on Erangel because of how close to center it is. It means that the probability of your drop spot being in the circle is as high as you could want it to be. And so when you're the front runner, the chances are you're able to scare other people away because you force them to make the decision, do we stay and fight or do we try and go for a safer early game ourselves? It's really just bullying and, you know, using your clout to get what you want.
Gosh, anytime I see someone crash with that Tesla, I'm like, man, that's going to take 10 months to repair and get back to you.
Yeah, the turnaround for these things isn't great.
But I love the sound it makes. It's great. Strap and crew here for Blackwater Gaming. They're done with Pachinki. They looted everything up. They're going to head on over to school and probably wait and see when this next circle comes on in. No teams have had any big rotations into each other yet. New Generation and Nameless now starting to clump up a little bit here around Stalber. And I think Lost Gaming is currently sitting on the bridge, seeing if anyone is going to come on out of it. Forza has not done the boat strategy yet, Cameron.
Man, I was really hoping for that. No, I mean, it is a safer play to just go by vehicle. I was just trying to throw my 2 cents out there. But while I've been watching these guys drive, it always makes me so uncomfortable when a team just clown cars it. When they just put all 4 into one vehicle. It is probably the most dangerous situation that you can ask for in this game other than intentionally running into an opposing team. And they immediately stop because they see a slight twitch of movement in front of them. And they know that if they were to drive across that bridge, there is a huge chance of a crossfire being set up and all 4 of them taken out. But no, the fight's coming back to them, it looks like.
Oh, Drago trying to get out of dodge, will be able to. But that was interesting. And now Juice just finding exactly where 4Piece is. This team does a great job of just scanning the area and being able to identify where pixels are not supposed to be and then have the ability to punish on top of it. What a knock from distance by Juice and the rest of Blackwater. They now think about possibly pushing on up. Here they go, Juice and Strap getting ready.
Getting in the vehicle.
Oh,
they're gonna get come on, they gotta send it.
Might have messed up the rotation there.
Yeah. Those few seconds really could cost them because look at who's ready in position.
Oh no, and it might have right there. Juice gets squeezed on into pieces there, but a nice trade kill by Hugo. And so it's a 1-for-1 so far, Blackwater versus 4Piece. Ace is also in the area as well. And you can see a little bit of Sailing Pro moving on over. So the river area next to Razak getting very crowded very early on. Mercy hanging back and playing anchor as he did in the last map when he was up high as they took down All-Star.
Oh, they had to bail the Tesla. But jumping into the water is the correct play there. But 4Piece aren't looking too hot themselves. And what is this? Strap found an angle. Swam across. Gets another knock. And now 4Piece is going to have to let them bleed out. No chance of a safe revival there. And we do also, in the meantime, see circle number 2. Pretty central. Not going to upset too many people. It's not going to be a hardship for any one particular direction. It's just going to be everyone grouping up continually south of Severny.
Damn. What an aggressive play. And non-punished there by 4Piece. I feel like that trade, like after they were able to take down Juice, if Hugo didn't get the knock in counter, 4Piece were in such a strong position to punish.
Exactly. That's how important trades can be. Because not only do you knock one individual, you also force a second one to stop shooting at you if they want to go for the revive. So that is a temporary like stall on 2 people shooting at you. That's up to half, like that's at least half the team, depending on how many people are still alive.
Yeah, they're not done yet. Blackwater seeing blood in the water, starting to push on forward. Junie for Ace is now sticking his nose on in there. And so now Ace is looking to be a part of this 3-man triple threat match here. Drago's still a little bit further behind, so Aces might just be like, hey, Junie, go ahead and get in there and see what you can learn. But Aces kind of spread here could be dangerous if they don't get on the same page very soon.
Mercy here. Deciding between fully crossing the river just yet or not. This river is still in play in Circle 2. And unless we see a giant hard shift towards the south, it is going to end north of the river. But they have control of this area. Blackwater might not be a bad idea to stick around and hold that. Not to mention holding that hilltop that they're on can get shot from multiple different angles. So if they have multiple deterrents against that, they can be safe throughout the mid-game. But here, it's going to be another rotation continued through by Extreme Ice. They rotated all the way around, but she went through Georgia Pole and are swooping in from the west.
Oh, bit of a crash there as just a quick update. Forza able to rotate themselves out of Novo, and they've moved north into Stalber. And GoTo, we saw them disconnect or connect late, drop randomly in military base, able to reconnect with the rest of Aces. So Aces back to 4 members strong. As we had a knock there, trying to see where the knock came from. It was All Stars and it was Unity in the north, just kind of in that brush area outside of shooting range in Severny.
Forza rotating around. And hey, it wasn't by boat, but they still made it all the way to the north side. I'm assuming they looped around Yasnaya and looking at how big of a spread they have on the northeast edge. That does seem to be the case. Good heads-up play by them, going for information, going for multiple positions of control to try and capitalize on a hard shift if it does come in their direction.
Yeah, it was a late rotate by them. They waited till the very last second, and I believe while they were in vehicles, Arabians were in vehicles as well, and they both caravanned north, and now they're going to have to make another trek because the circle has gone southwest. That's a hard shift there, Cammy.
Yeah, I talked about the river, and this shift, well, it's now significantly more impactful. Sunken's going to be an issue. Razak is always dramatic. This whole collection of teams on the far west side are on Cube. Could be complicated as well. This is going to be wild. All these teams rotating in from the east side. We've got a lot of hard shifts today, and it's not stopping.
Who's going to have a great spot? Right there, All-Stars and Unity, I think. They're just sitting right on top of each other. They've already knocked each other once. You can see the hard cover here for Rush It. Huge for him and the rest of All-Stars. One knock there by Bot Knock, and now they're on the offensive.
Whoop. Baits a peek with the shots onto the tire, but the smoke is there to try and hide for a potential escape. It's actually going to be a knock against them, and Steel TH9 gets fully dropped and confirmed. All-Stars down to 3. And they're so dedicated on getting this trade, getting this damage, because they can continue to block Unity out of the circle.
Yep. Meanwhile, though, Ace is able to pick up a kill onto Blackwater. So we've got 2 fights, one in the north there with what we're watching here with Unity and All-Star, and then we were watching that east battle between 4-piece Aces and Blackwater, and all 3 of them popping off. And now over in the west, it's V4 and a Lost Gaming going head-to-head. So 4 confrontations all at the same time. And it seems like one team has been knocked out. Yeah, it's V4 Vendetta. They've been eliminated by Lost Gaming.
Botnak here is readying a grenade, cooking it. He knows exactly where Unity's players are, but it's not going to find anything. Instead, he receives a few bullets to his face. Now has to fall back behind the cover of this oil barrel. So this stall, this face-off between All-Stars and Unity hasn't evolved any one way or the other. Just some chip damage back and forth, but not a single person has been dropped. But because of the timing, because of the circle, do see a little bit of a retreat.
Yeah, Ares is very, very far away from the rest of his squad. I don't think Ares will have an easy time anytime soon. We'll catch back up with Bukale, Mosey, and Ares for Unity in just a bit. Now back into the 3 teams in this area. It's Aces, Blackwater, and 4Piece, and now it looks like Budak Gaming was getting some there by 4Piece, so almost 4 teams, but back down to 3 teams here in the East. And Blackwater on the outside, you can see it in the mini-map there in the top right corner. They're going to have to figure it out. Yusuf now with the line on him. Drago's telling his teammates, hey, they're right here, and they're taking a ton of blue zone damage and having to take the long way around. There's the send. Oh, Drago doesn't see it. Does he see it? Yes, he does. He's
He's waiting for the last person. He's waiting for them all to get in. He wants the lineup and the spray down and wait for them to heal and start with the grenade, end with bullets. This could be great, except unfortunately the spread of Blackwater is quite wide.
Mercy catching the first nade by Drago. They've got to be able to triangulate it. Like, how far could someone throw a nade? Mercy's got to realize it's close, but it seems like they're just holding right now. Mercy trying to crawl back to, I believe that's Juice, to get the revive on up. And this is the first time we've seen Blackwater under a ton of pressure this early on in a zone. Yeah. The zone moving on in. Drago now pops on up. He gets 1. Will he be able to get 2? The zone gets the other one, but he runs himself on in. And that's Blackwater out in 15th place. Huge play there by Aces Drago.
Yeah, now Forza are loving that if they caught that in the kill feed, which any top competitor worth their medal in Battle Royale would be able to track that properly. They know that if they do not throw this game, they get all right placement, all right kills, they were going to be in an amazing spot coming into the final game. So they just need to take it slow, take it safe. Don't take it too safe that you just like lose all positioning and control. But here they're driving in. They have multiple cars trying to approach from up this angle. There is a team that's right in front of them.
They do know that
to
no one's behind
them quite quickly.
Yeah, it's New Generation in front of them over that ridge. They cleared out, I believe that was V2 Black. That's what the looting that we caught them doing right there. And you could see Sailing Pro. They've got eyes on Aces. They decide against it. All-Star now taken down Nameless. Nameless has been doing a lot of movement, and I feel like they just have been so unlucky running into team after team. This time it's All-Star with a bunch of other teams not able to see All-Star, but able to see Nameless. And I believe it's just poor Brian, the last one left alive.
Smokes come out to try and stall out All-Star's angle of defense. Yeah, Brian's going to hop in that vehicle. Really the only play at hand right now, but too many players, too many teams looking the direction, pushes them back up, but that's going to be towards Unity's angle. And they are still no closer towards the safe zone. The blue is right behind them.
Tunathan not able to finish off Brian, so Brian finds a little bit more space in this closing zone. We'll probably have to run directly back into the direction that he escaped from. Tunathan has a bead on it. Yeah, and Brian has 1 tree. The smoke, not a bad smoke there, so forcing Brian to move.
Inking blue, hoping that a distraction comes their way. And some more smokes come out, making a little bit of a smoke tunnel, college football style. But I mean, just look at all these crosshairs aimed at their position. The run's coming in. I don't think they're going to make it. Taking too much damage from the blue already. They're in.
Oh,
they actually made it in, but
they're out.
Not for long. The tunnel wasn't far enough. Novel attempt, but they've been locked out for quite a while.
Yeah, Tunathan finishing them off. Pretty interesting setup in the western side of the map right now with Extreme Ice, Forza, and New Generation all kind of on top of each other. And this zone, it's still a lot of river here, and you can see Forza trying to send it right now on in. It's Jokersin and Larry leading the way, but then Extreme Ice is in front and behind them. Let's see what happens.
They got to build towards the water. I think that's going to be the name of the game for a lot of teams coming into this. Because look at this shift. The river is I mean, if you include that small little island, it's essentially half of this circle, which means that Extreme Ice's current position, they need to be able to lock it down. Even if they don't get too many kills from it, just stay alive, stay in defensive position, because from this spot, they can try and take control of the game. And oh, they're already losing a player.
Yeah, Teletubbies raining down bullets, but nice answer back. Multiple Teletubbies now have gone down here. Sun still alive, the last one alive. No, Sun and Tinky Winky still alive. They're trying to get it. They're sending it on in. What a play here by Qin if it pays off. 3 Teletubbies are down. It's just Tinky Winky getting the revive up on Poe right now. Qin trying to wrap around. You see him running. Gets the angle, the drop shot. Qin lives with 1. It's 4 points here for Extreme Ice and the best spot in the zone so far.
This man has, like, the heart of a lion. He's turned heads from the qualifier stage, making some amazing plays, and now he's going for more. And they're trying to just rein in that map control as much as they can, because look at all these teams fighting in from the north side. We're going to see a few more refugees make their way into the water when that's the only option, but oh no, there he is.
Yeah.
Qin has been knocked.
Yeah. Qin made the big hero play there. Has some cover from Moeller, but he's just wide in the open. Viggle's able to get a knock onto Martinez, and Martinez might have gotten a little too happy there. Gets behind a tree. Not sure if anyone's going to be able to get close. Here comes IGL. The shots rain through. Martinez does get revived at the last second. Huge there. Now Edwin starting to get into his own gunfight. Will he be able to get the shoulder peek on to rush it? No, he's not. That is Sailing Pro going out in 9th place.
Oh, a very close fight here for All Stars. Jonathan should be able to crawl. I don't know. I don't know if the timing is on their side. Russian is barely able to heal up himself, and the blue is... well, it's not far from closing. I think the revive should be able to come through. Back here on the center. They've lost 2, but Extreme Ice have not given up this bunker position.
This is a pretty solid hold, and you can see all the arrows of the players where they're looking on the mini-map. Love being able to see what their focus is. Taco holding the area right now for Teo, trying to hold the area right now for New Generation, but it's just a smoke and a couple of broken vehicles. It looks like they do want to send it. Moeller catches Teo! Oh, and he gets behind the crate. That was an opportunity there.
Great impromptu cover there, but they're going to have to move still. As well as a couple of these players that are all in the water. Forza. And this is like the one team that would 100% suggest going into the water. Because again, they just need to try and milk placement points. Already doing really good, making it into the top half. Or no, making it the top half, already have a couple of kills. But of course, they're going to have other mermaids swimming alongside with them. Yeah, and who knows when they're going to have to leave and make their way back onto the land, where, of course, it's going to be sprayed down by the few remaining survivors on dry ground.
Moeller taking a peek over, and yep, there's Ning. There's when TT here for Lost Gaming. Has Viggles. Just trying to gather all the information. There's a lot of 2- and 1-man teams alive right now. And it's just hard to keep track of all of them, including the space in the water. No team has more than 2 players.
And that's why Qin going out like that, even though they tried to wipe the team all the way into the west, now puts Extreme Ice in a really rough situation, because they're having to constantly have their head on a swivel. They don't know where the next rat is going to be biting from when you're down this many members. Hey, at least now the north is clear.
Yeah, Bukale for Unity. Remember, Unity and All-Star got caught in that fight early on, and Unity made the decision to bail out super early, leave arrests. They get themselves all the way up to 6th place. Not a bad showing here by Unity. It's always tough to make the call to be like, yeah, we got to leave him.
There he made his way on land, but oh no, was caught healing! Ning had a rock to stand on to shoot back. And, well, Joker tried to trade. But unfortunately, a revive on a teammate is going to be difficult to manage in this situation.
Yusuf and Gotu have primo position right now. Jenny for Budak Gaming is also there in that blue color. You can see Jenny. I think Jenny has a rock to hide behind. Gotu's going to push Jenny. Jenny decides to stay in the water. So we're going to play the water game here. So it's really just I think it's Extreme Ice and Aces in position to punish. So Joker and Titi are just kind of watching each other. Ace is able to pick up Jenny. So now we're down to 4 teams left.
Yeah, but Molar's been dropped by Extreme Ice. Both these teams on the mainland had one high, one low towards the center, and the angle for Yusuf, well, you can just see the exploit right there, which means there's only one member remaining for Extreme Ice, and you just play it safe and just hope that Aces get distracted by the players in the water. But right now, it really is on Aces to win this game, looking at all the different positions. Oh, Nicholas trying to send it. Wants to try and get the revival on the teammate.
Oh my God, did he? No one punished?
It wasn't confirmed. The kill wasn't confirmed. It wasn't dropped. The angle just wasn't there. And
that is huge.
He's actually alive.
Wow. Wow. Remember, because Extreme Ice picked off so many teams while they're in that bunker position and they got to hold for a little bit, look at the meds, look at the utility, gives Extreme Ice another opportunity to utilize that utility and maybe come away with this chicken dinner. I think you called it. It was on Aces to be the aggressive one and win this one, but Viggles with a huge hero play, keeping Extreme Ice in it, while Forza and Wentiti get a front row seat.
Still shocked that they were able to send it down there for the revive like that. And, I mean, Wentiti and Joker, neither of them could punish because if one of them tried to stand up and shoot that player running from the high ground, then the other one would just take them out. So they're in a standoff against each other, completely isolated from everyone else.
Yeah, waiting for this zone to finish. That's really going to be the the tell for this map. If it completely removes the water, then you're just waiting till the last second. But Molar and Viggles are in a pretty great spot right now. They're in a great spot. Aces have no business getting over the edge and punishing them.
Molar's position right here, I think, is clutch. This one is king because he can just look at where the dead center is going to be. Smoke's already come out, though, for Molar to try and make the send themselves and really get that center controlled. But this could be a bit risky because they'll be putting themselves in between the water players as well as Aces. Oh, a spot's come through. The damage just isn't enough.
Oh. Go-to answers back, finds Viggles, though. So now Molar's the one caught in a position where he has to decide, do I play slow and safe or do I get the revive on in? Now trying to shoot through the smoke. Helping out just a little bit is the silhouette. In the meantime, Joker's in has been dropped. So Molar has to decide, does he try to take this on 1v2v1? Stands up, gets finished off. It was a great attempt, but Yusuf finishes him. And now it's just Wentiti in the water. Aces are in prime control for this chicken dinner.
And look at all the kills that they have. That's something that completely went by my head during their approach into this circle. They had, what was that, 15 kills at the end of things? Total 15. Control of the east side and just zone by zone, phase by phase, kill by kill. They now have a landmark victory going into the latter half of this series.
Yeah, a huge win there. Remember, this started off with Go-To not dropping with the rest of the team, then landing in military base, had to rotate on over, and then they were the ones sticking their nose in between Blackwater and who was the other team that was there that got punished early on. I forgot who it was, but Blackwater's first engage, Aces was right there. They're able to rotate themselves around. 15 kills, nothing to scoff at. Now we might have ourselves going from a 3-team race to now possibly a 4-team race.
I mean, so Team Aces are coming in from 14th place. So this is at least good for them to get up from that bottom half of the leaderboard. But yeah, we'll see what happens onto this final game.
Yeah, we'll take a look here. Make sure to hit ! socials in your chat to follow along with all the action of all the mobile games here at ESL Mobile. Make sure to do that and stick around because we're going to toss it on over to Paul and Glitter after a short break to break down what we just saw and set the stages for the final match of the day. Don't miss it.
and welcome back to the ESL Mobile Open PUBG Mobile Ladder 2 Finals. I'm Glitter Explosion.
And I'm in Verum.
And we're in. We're about to go into game number 5 in Verum. We just wrapped up game number 4. We got a different winner this time, but yeah, that was a little bit messy of an ending.
I think just due to the nature of that one, when you've got so many threats that you have to try and lock down and so many angles that you have to try and manage, it makes it really, really hard, especially when you only have like one other teammate by your side to try and offer scouting, get that intel across. Communication at that point is so critical. And again, one team did it just that little bit better. So we're going to see, taking a look back at the highlights.
I mean, starting everything off with Blackwater MX, I don't know. I don't want to call it a fall off, but it's just they've been struggling to repeat their insane game 1 performance, and it's kind of kept them, that one performance has kept them in a very, very solid position on our leaderboards. And moving into game number 5, there's definitely going to be more and more teams that are creeping up on them, if not knocking them down overall.
Yeah, I mean, they've already been surpassed by Forza, and Extreme Ice is only 12 points away from potentially closing that gap as well. Nobody is safe at this point up at the top. Forza has a nice little lead, but like we've seen before, incredible amounts of points can be garnered in just a single game. And this last one too, so much action. There's always these sort of slow, well-paced, somewhat well-thought-out early games, but these mid-games, Glitter, have been absolutely wild. This is only Circle 3.
I know, but I love to see that. I love to see the teams getting a little bit more aggressive, especially towards the end of the day. You know, you've got nothing to lose if you need to. Is such a pretty name. Such a pretty name. And then the instant follow-up at Aces. That's a team that I wanted to be able to talk about anyways, because they were our chicken dinner winners. But throughout the entire game, they were racking up points. It almost felt like a little bit sneakily.
Well, there's moments like that where one player was just able to catch out their opponents completely off guard. And that, again, that trend sort of continued all the way to the end there. But you can even see the way that last circle was in the mini-map. So many teams on the outside constantly forced to having to deal with these shifts. It never really felt like many of these teams got into a position they were quote-unquote comfortable with. But Viglas here just did, I mean, so much work and continued to do so all the way on to the end of the game.
Yeah, he's going to be one of those final 2 that were left standing for Extreme Ice up against that battle when it comes to Ace's Unity. Having some moments, like you're saying, like I feel like we got to see these individual fights that just showed the skill of players and squads, but overall the consistency that we've seen out of Forza. I mean, to be fair, even though Forza only had one player alive in the water stratting for as long as possible, that was still another very high placing game for Forza, and those points still matter.
Yeah, I mean, they've been able to put up points round after round. I mean, props to Aces here, making this look easy, shooting fish in a barrel, able to bring it down to this final couple team situation here. So props to them. And again, they have to deal with not only the player in the water, but the other team uphill across the way. And those are sort of those multiple angles that I was talking about, things that you cannot ignore. And Team Aces did a fantastic job playing the 2v2 there in the end. And then the final 2v1, fantastic play from them, which has brought them up into 4th place right now.
Wow.
And again, there's a 31-point spread between 1 and 4th, but I mean, this is definitely in Forza's favor, but it's not set in stone, Glitter.
Not at all. Because with the individual performances that we've seen out of Forza, out of Blackwater MX, that is a gap that is closable and then surpassable if you have one of those insane pop-off games. But generally, just chipping away at the leaderboard. Extreme Ice has now moved up pretty high. I mean, like you said, Aces is now, Aces is only 4 points behind Extreme Ice. If they have a solid game here, they can easily jump above that. Same thing, they're only 16 points behind Blackwater MX. So there's still some shifts that can occur on this leaderboard. We're seeing a few more shifts here on the second page as well. And, you know, not as many points to be had on the second page because our top 5 at this point has essentially soaked up so many, but teams are still battling it out just for even one more spot.
And a decent amount of kill points in some of those teams down there at the bottom as well. So props to them. I think the thing that stood out to me the most, though, is the fact that Forza has 39 placement points. They have averaged basically 10 placement points a game. We've only done 4 games. That is a staggering, consistent performance. That's the first word we talked about at the start of the show is consistency. They've demonstrated it here. They're in the lead, but it's not done yet. We still have one more match. I know that's what you're all waiting for, so we're not going to keep you any longer. We're going to head to a short break, and when we come back, right into the action with our 5th and final map.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the final game of the ESL Mobile Open North American PUBG Mobile Fall Ladder 2 Finals. D-Cammy is back here with you. That was good. That one didn't feel too bad. D-Gon and Cammy D to close things out here on Miramar. It's a pretty good path, a little south hanging here for a lot of our teams, but that's where the last circle ended. So you should just drop here, right?
Yeah, well, that also. But no, this flame path isn't too bad. I'm waiting to see the first circle though, because whenever we think that something good is going to happen, the circle decides to take all happiness out of our lives. Not ours, like the players. Like, we actually love this.
I love this.
This is the best.
It's pretty good. Keeping an eye on Forza, currently in the lead, 17-point lead. So if they drop early, that'll open things up for teams like Blackwater, who has gone cold since their epic 38-point performance in map number 1. Extreme Ice, Team Aces, Lost, and All-Stars, all in, maybe not the, I would say Extreme Ice and Aces in touching distance of possibly catching Forza. But Forza, they've put in the consistent work so far.
Yeah, that's sort of what I was talking about the previous game. Forza just need to play it safe, especially now with this lead that they have over Blackwater. For Extreme Ice, Team Aces, and even Lost Gaming All-Stars, actually, if you go all the way down to the top 8, there's a possibility maybe of them overtaking second place, depending on how good of a game that they have. But ultimately, it's kind of just a fight between Blackwater, Extreme Ice, and Team Aces on that front. Who, again, if they have, like, if Blackwater repeat their game 1, or even Extreme Ice or Team Aces do as well, then maybe we could see someone fight for first place. But that's going to require a lot of things to go right for those teams and a number of things to go wrong for Forza for that to happen.
For sure. So the teams I want to watch here are Forza, where we already Forza, any early hot drops. And then keep an eye on the teams where there's been a lot of kill pressure as early on here, some action. And that's Nameless picking one off of V2. And so Nameless taking a point off the board, trying to move out of their 13th place position and giving them their 5th kill point of the day. V2 now just getting straight up hunted. This is ruthless here by Nameless. They just almost doubled their kill total in one fell swoop.
This is great. Yeah, really good hold by them. Definitely a solid decision for the last V2 player to try and retreat, but that still raises the question of what can they now do going in for the rest of the game. V2 are sitting in 12th, so I guess just try and soak up placement points and get yourself into the top half. It's about all that you can, I think, expect after losing 3 of your teammates.
Yeah, the
Nameless here, yeah, definitely a really good start for them to try and climb out of that bottom quadrant.
The other team that is ridiculously, unnecessarily close to each other in Miramar on the first circle is Budak Gaming and V for Vendetta. They are on top of each other in Via del Mar, and now kind of like playing a game of chicken. Who's going to move first as that circle shifts pretty hard to the east. About 33%, a third of water here at Cami.
Yeah, it's yeah, definitely. It's a little bit of water. It's not so much that I don't think I'd be worried about it, or any of the players should be. We'll see if it hard shifts towards the east, then we might want to have a conversation about water play. But ultimately, it's really just going to be a little bit of a, not a struggle, but a process for the teams from the east to make their way over towards the mainland. But now if you're a team like Nameless, or even like, well, at V4, yeah, they're going to have to make that cross because, yeah, they're against water, but they're all the way on the west side. And yeah, here's the standoff that you were talking about. These guys don't have the luxury of being in the circle like the previous hot drop did.
No, they don't. And Budak Gaming, currently sitting in 11th, have been playing based off of placement points. Only 3 kills so far for Budak, whereas V for Vendetta, 6 kills, but only 7 placement points, only on 13 points. So these are 2 teams in the bottom that I feel like just haven't been able to play the game that they wanted to play. Maybe they're like, you know what, it's been that kind of day. Let's go get our hands dirty. As Lol, he's going to get a little bit closer and start scouting out. Kabir is the closest member of V for Vendetta that Lol will be running up against very soon. Only a level 1 helmet here, too. Ugh.
Yeah. Listen, if you are a team lower on the leaderboard, going for a Hail Mary play at the very beginning is a really good thing to do because, like, honestly, what's the difference in result between 12th and 13th place? If you really want to make a huge jump up on the leaderboard, you got to get a lot of kills, and an easy way to do that is to try and capitalize on an isolated team, whether that's part of a hot shop or even just seeing someone get caught on rotation. Because if they were to wait till later to take a fight like this, there's always going to be that risk of third party. But here, they can just focus on the team ahead of them, get a couple of kills, and then put themselves on the way towards the circle. But looks like V4, they don't want this fight. They're actually the ones locked out of the direction they're trying to rotate in, so they're all going to hop into the bus and go the exact opposite way. Road trip time, looping all the way around.
Yeah, I think they should be safe here on the rotation out. They are. No punish as we follow along with our lobby leaders, Forza. They also decided to drop south in, I guess, the island to Minas del Sur. And they should be fine. Primo is hanging around the exit of the islands, and they should be able to rotate on in to the south of the zone.
Ooh, Unity, they're going for a play. They got a knock against All-Stars, and they're just going to send it on in to finish what they started.
Yeah, they've been very active, have Unity. Oh, and Mosey turns it around.
They dropped one off, and then turning back around? Are they trying to? Are they just trying to?
They're shuttling.
They're shepherding people, shuttling people one by one. What is going on? What are they doing here?
Yeah, well.
And look, the rest of All-Stars are also coming in from the north.
And remember, this is the same battle that we saw early on in Erangel, where it led Unity to climbing all the way on up to, I believe it was like 5th or 6th place when they had this fight with all 16 teams still up. So All-Star, who is in touching distance of the lead currently in 6th place, they don't want to have a fight with Unity in 10th. They might want to pick up these kills. As Bukalele, he had 6 kills in the last game, goes down early. Stealth goes for the finish, but Mosey's there to cover. Now hopping on over. Stealth playing highly aggressive, all alone.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Stealth gets himself into a spot where he can heal on up, but this is a very, very crazy move with Tunathan getting knocked. Rush it behind him, and Rox is holding anchor to keep them at bay.
I don't know how there hasn't been a single kill confirmed here between both these squads. The revive is coming through. So it's going to be a 4 versus 4 still. However, does Unity stick around, or do they try and pull off? This fight did not go the way that they imagined. They weren't able to capitalize on the first knock that they got. Now the rest of All-Stars have rotated into this area. They do have a player on the high ground still, so I would still give the advantage to Unity. But these grenades, they're going fishing.
Yeah, Unity have arrests on the high ground. Behind All-Stars, they have bot knock. So it is a 3 on the ground, 1 anchor strategy for both teams here. Arrests in a much more safe position inside one of these shacks. But it's a long distance to shoot from. And you can see the zone moving on in, and both these teams don't look like they're gonna move anytime soon.
Yeah, the way that this fight has been going, it's gonna be a while. seven years war, they're trying to break that record.
Rush it, trying to land it. Oh, Tunathan gets a nade on in there to Mosley.
Yeah,
so
good
that might
follow-up
change
utility.
Tunathan gets another one. It's Bukalele. Yeah, Bukalele down. That's the fragger, so only 2 members left of Unity. This could be huge, and Tunathan, he got knocked earlier. Now starting to change the tide of the war here for All-Stars, and this would be huge for them if they're able to pick up all 4 points. Arrest had to come down from the anchor position, and now sees Botnock, who was the other anchor for All-Stars, wrapping around, not able to punish, forced to reload. And Stealth gets another knock on Aroxis. It's only 1 left. Tunathan doesn't see him, and he gets greedy for the kill. Doesn't get finished. Russian is able to get the kill, but now Russian is low. Will he be able to get the revive? No, they won't. It's a clear, clean ace here for All-Stars, and the revives should come through even though they're in the blue.
Yeah, even with the knock to the blue at the very end there, it still doesn't do enough damage. I believe the revives should be okay, and I think there's enough meds and just resources on these bodies for All-Stars to get back up to full HP, and they're going to need it, though, because they're going to have to move. We all saw that phase 2. It is a hard shift towards the east. Now the water becomes impactful. Those islands are in play, but they're not going to be noted by anyone really until, well, if they do stay in play, then we can talk about them. But for right now, it's just half water, half land.
I think teams are starting to panic a little bit because everyone is going straight to the coast. And I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams just kind of on top of each other at Impala, but not necessarily in the city of Impala.
4 piece have arrived here. A couple of players, not necessarily around them, but close enough. But yeah, everyone's just trying to go to the coast because even though the circle needs to stay, the center of the circle needs to stay on land, it's still, of course, going to be favoring center over anywhere else. Also, I think a couple people are sort of having an eye, a little bit, like in their peripheral vision on those 2 islands. I don't know. I'm not holding my breath for them. I've been baited too many times before. But it's always an option.
You know, I remember over in PUBG PC for MPL, there's the one time where Captain Purdy Curdy called it for Lazarus, and he was like, yeah, we've seen the circle before, we're going to the island. They got there and they got their chicken dinner. This is a lot of a lot of water that could be there. You know, this if it was to go to the island, this does seem like a circle that could do that.
It could, yeah. The circles do interact differently on mobile and PC versions, which is why I'm saying that, like, I don't think any team is like gonna take that gamble right away.
Oh.
But, you know, maybe keep an eye on what boats are available. See, like, where are the options in case it does come around to it. You always got to have, like, a plan B, right? But, oh, that's a member that's been taken out and fully confirmed by Budak.
Yeah, Budak, remember, they were down in the southwestern islands. They rotated out early before V for Vendetta, ran into Forza, and then had to run away, and now they're split way on up. Lol, Jenny, and Min. Nowhere near each other. We follow along with 78G. There's Jenny. Yeah, 78G has an eye on Jenny. And now Jenny will get hunted down. Nearby, though, is the lone member from the early skirmish. I believe that's V2's member.
Oh, God. Yeah, they didn't ask for this.
Clutch.
Usually you want the circle to go into your favor. I don't know if this is what they would have wanted, because now look, they're just being swarmed by all these different teams and they have no way to defend themselves or their position. But wait a second.
Yeah, there's Malaclush. There's 1-2 teams right there. You could see the gold team there to the south.
Can we see the map?
East. That's hilarious.
It did it. It did it. I saw the line on the mini map.
Called it.
Okay. All right. Okay.
All right, everyone jetting on over, swimming on over. Possibly maybe leave one anchor on the coast to pick up some swimmers. But other than that, time to go across into the islands. Teletubbies catching out All-Stars now. I believe that's Tunathan that's been finished off there, so only Stealth and Botnock left alive. But look at this just shift of all the players basically panicking, jumping into the water, hoping no one else is going to see them.
Oh,
who will get there first? That's the big question.
That's the huge problem with this circle, is that if you are like the first 3 or 4 teams there, you're in an amazing position. Everyone else, it's awful. So I expect to see maybe 2 or 3 teams at the least just stay on the coast and realize, you know what, we're not going to make it across safely. Let's just pick up some kill points while we can and see where that puts us. But then again, that all depends on what their win condition for this entire event is. If like you're down on the leaderboard, yeah, sure, go for a Hail Mary. But like if you're a team like Forza, there's no need to cross. Just get us some kill points. You're very good. But here,
yep.
The push onto the mainland is occurring.
Well, YZZ and the rest of Lost Gaming have found Forza, and Forza have nowhere to go. They have no land nearby. The zone is coming in very, very soon. I don't think you can swim around them, but Lost Gaming, the first one to find land. On the northern island, though, you can see it on the mini-map. It's Blackwater Gaming. They're trying to fight their way on up against Sailing Pro with Strap and another member hanging back. So they're doing a 2-2 split to pick up some points.
I don't even know how to call this game. No, the shots are coming through. I think Forza, they realize that they're in a rough position. The worst thing about the water here is that you cannot heal. Like, unless someone brings a vehicle with them somehow and, like, pushes it on the bottom. Like, you can't heal while swimming. So, like, you gotta either, like, they run from the blue, but then that's going to be in the eyesight of someone who's on the island, or unless you want to try and swim all the way around to get to the backside, because most of the water that's still in play is to the east of these islands.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Kemi? It was a big, big point lead here for Forza. I believe it was a 17-point lead, and there needed to be a lot of things to happen to allow for a comeback. One of those things is to have Forza go out very early. And let me tell you, Jokersin is currently the final member alive for Forza, and in the blue, still being hunted by Lost Gaming. And there he goes. That's Forza out with 0 placement points. So a little bit of hope here for Blackwater Gaming and other teams chasing. It was Blackwater Extreme Ice and Team Aces, as well as Lost Gaming. So, but I mean, it's mostly Blackwater to catch that first place. They're still 4 members strong.
What is this circle? Where is the center? Where is it even centered on? Like, both islands only are half. It's not even. Oh my.
You got to gamble. This is a gamble. And honestly, Mercy and Blackwater Gaming still in. That's kind of weird. But Mercy should get ran over here. Like 4 pieces is nearby.
I don't know how we're gonna call this. I don't know how the players are gonna call this. The ones that are on the land, the ones that made it there first, and this is why everyone ran to the coast just in case. They are just picking up kill after kill after kill.
Yeah, right now we're following along with WenTT and Lost Gaming. Currently 6 points. Tough for them because they got to the island first, but it's this miniature island, not one of the main 2, and it's outside the zone. So they need to cash in right now because they're going to have all the same issues that everyone else is having rotating on into one of the big islands here in just a bit. And you can see how many teams are in the view here of WenTT as Aces is now starting to work their way up the same island. WenTT's teammate just got finished off, and we haven't seen him look behind him at all. There it is. WenTT is able to pick up one there on Drago.
A lot of utility, a lot of grenades because they're just going fishing for this one.
Oh, there it is. Oh, that's a great view. And WenTT cooking a couple of them with a molly. It's GoTo that goes down. For Peace, I think that was catching out Mercy. Nope, Mercy catching one of them out, then gets finished off there. Yeah, so there goes Mercy. 4 Peace lose one. It was SK99. So another point there for Blackwater Gaming. Going to keep an eye on their kill total. Only 28 teams still left.
Are Blackwater still in this? That wasn't their final. They are. Okay, so okay.
Yeah, they're 3 strong. They're 3 strong.
Okay. That was their final member on land.
Yes.
Like everyone else has been trying to swim it across. Okay, so they could still try and climb up. I don't know. It's still gonna have to be an amazing game for them. And they're in the water, so despite Forza going down, they're still gonna come on like a really good game ahead of them if they want to try and overtake it. But nonetheless, who knows what's gonna happen from this point onward? Everyone is just this is insanity.
Yeah, DXI trying to just land shots from distance. There it is. That's what I talked about earlier. Lost Gaming just kind of stuck on that corner of the island for now. As Nameless 4 kills, now catching out V2's Malu Clutch. That was our lone survivor for V2 when they got ran over by, I think it was, actually, I don't remember who it was. Was it Nameless? Yeah, it was Nameless, and this would be the final kill here. Clutch able to kind of hover on in. The zone, although it looks like he's right on the edge, no. Malu is clearly in.
What land is in this? There is...
I don't know. Is Strap in land? No, Strap is very much not in land.
Sailing Pro have the section, like the beach, overlooking this next zone. That is it.
Well, in the kill feed, and you can see it right there on your mini-map, Hugo's in has been finished off by Viggles. And so Blackwater Gaming strategy was have one sit in the middle of the river, or one in the middle of the water, one to the northwest island, or northeast island, one to the southeast island, and then one stay on the mainland. The 3 people on mainland have all died. So now it's just Strap here for Blackwater Gaming. This might open the door for the 3rd or 4th place team, Extreme Ice or Team Aces, to try and rack up the kills here.
What's even the game plan here for all these teams? I guess just get the kill points while you can is about all that's left. Oh, a little bit of a spray down here coming up from Nameless. Still in a bunch of different fights, only 6 kills, but they have a few ahead of them they can pick up. Make that 7, and I think even potentially 8. There's only 1 member of Teletubbies remaining out in the water. That's a boat! 4 Piece were able to bring a boat. It's pirate warfare.
Oh, this is great.
This could be the saving grace for them.
4 Piece in 14th place. They might be getting their chicken dinner. Now they're shooting down the 2nd place member, Strap. Strap has nowhere to go. Oh, no. He has no land. There's nothing around, and 4 Piece have all day. You can see the blue right behind him on the mini-map. And Strap is taking underwater aquatics because he's dancing around. There he is. He's out. And that is Blackwater Gaming going out in 9th place.
Now, Nameless, they have a little bit of a water bike, but everyone else is just going to stay swimming, which is the safe play. Couple of grenades at the ready, just in case. But how long until the entire squad, or at least the 3 remaining members of 4 Piece, are going to see that little jet ski off in the distance.
What is... All right, so it's going to have to shift on up to the northeast, right?
I can't even tell anymore. If you
That's
showed me the last 3 or 4 circles back to back, I would have been like, you're making this up. This is fake.
Oh my God! And Win is able to blow up the boat, and 4-piece goes out in pieces.
That is huge. That's insane. I mean, Sailing Pro, I don't think they have a vehicle of their own, but now suddenly the pirates that were trying to dominate that circle are just completely done for. The circle shifts away from them. They're going to have to join the swimmers with the rest. And I think it's just going to be a... It's not even... I can't even call it a heal off because you can't heal. It's just going to be who gets hit by the blue last.
Where did the bike go? Who had the bike? There, I think Chill just saw the bike all the way to the left.
Nameless had one, but they had to let go of it for some reason. The bike would be crucial here, but I guess swimming out into the blue to get it is not worth it, and like the blue's going to start closing, so you don't want to be caught in that.
Are we about to have the most boring finish in the history of PUBG Mobile?
I think so. I'm afraid so. I'm afraid so, Daniel.
What is going on? Observers, can we like just like pan around the water to see if there's any land? Or is everyone just gonna hug up? We're gonna hug up and try to get to the center.
It's hugging up in the center. I think that's the only game plan.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
They know it too. They're just like looking at each other.
And the thing is, like, it wouldn't be that big of a deal if it was down to like 3 or 4 teams, because sure, there is a difference between first place and like 3rd and 4th place, right? But there's 7 teams. There's a huge difference between 1st place and 7th place. So those kills really could be impactful. Oh, yeah, gee, cool. There's a crate that's coming in. Thanks. Very useful.
Does anyone go for it?
It's in the zone, I think. Or I think it is, but...
Yeah, it looks like when TT is booking it. When TT and Poe going for the crate. Who's going to get there first? Chill's getting there a little late. It's when TT that makes the first touch. And then takes
cool
the...
before you tank the blue damage.
Oh my goodness. No one's able to do anything. What?
There's not like... We've seen some zones that end in water that there's some small things that people try and like jump up on.
Yeah.
And even if they only can... They just do like a little kick off the wall to have a couple of shots before landing back into the water. There's nothing of that here. There's none of that here. It is...
You can't do it off another body, can you?
No.
Like,
in fact, in the water, like the death box sinks all the way to the floor anyway.
They're trying to maybe use their bodies in the crate. I even feel like teams are trying to do it for other opposing teams. Be like, yeah, can you figure it out?
yeah, sure. What do you got? Sharing stats.
I feel like if you're the one on the bottom anyways, boosting someone up, they can't aim down and shoot at you. So you would be safe anyways.
I mean, the circle shifts away from that box anyway.
Oh,
so it really...
hey.
Oh? What was that?
I don't know. Someone took one shot there.
Wait,
it didn't
what was
hit
that?
anybody.
Well, yeah, but that's something.
Yeah, look at that. Jenny being the homie. They are stacking. The gun came out. The gun was in hand. You can see the laser come out too.
We saw a Superman punch.
When TT almost picked one off there, and Jenny, the one that is helping everyone else, is the one that took the brunt of the damage. Oh, there's another one. They figured it out. The technology is there.
It doesn't even matter if they get the kill or not. Any damage is going to be useful once the blue comes in to finish everything off.
Well, it was Jenny's idea, and Jenny's the one that got shot.
Yeah, that's not very nice, admittedly.
Oh, there's one. Again, what are you doing? Why are you shooting the person boosting you up?
They don't have shots on anyone else? I don't know.
Yeah, Nameless all sticking together. I feel like Nameless should be able to do it with each other. They got 3 members. Now, you could tell, all right, the teams are with each other. When TT and Jenny, they're not on a team. And so they're the solos that are partnered together trying to figure it out. Unfortunately, that's led to Jenny getting shot. This is the most bizarre finish I've ever seen.
It really is. And this isn't even it. We have one more circle.
We're going to hit a 34-minute game.
We are. Without a doubt. Oh, boy.
I'm surprised a couple of the other teams aren't trying it as much.
That was a little bit of something. Like the interaction hitbox is so small and it's so specific.
Where is the other member of... Who is it? V for Vendetta. V for Vendetta should be doing this. Chills and Kabir. Instead, I think Chills is chilling and Kabir is just swimming around.
How many times can you say that you've been in a game with 7 teams in Circle 8? 11 players in Circle 8. I guess like not even city endings have this many players this late.
Because someone usually has the molly to run someone out, and then they get shot, and then as people
like it's a lot of players in Circle 6 and 7, but Circle 8, it's usually down to like 3 or 4 at that point. Not here. We're setting the record. Guys, this is PUBG Mobile history that you're watching.
Chills is trying to get it right here. Who else is popping in?
Can they jump up high enough to even have like a single bullet? Trying to free willy themselves into the air.
Well, what about... Oh, there's a couple. There's a couple. What about when they have to be close to each other because of the zone? Then you're kind of just standing on everybody. Then you have to do it.
Yeah, it looks like everyone's conglomerating at the center anyway, just getting ready for those final few moments. This is looking good for Nameless. Their health is really solid, but same thing for Sailing Pro. A lot of the solo is already down to like half HP, which is the rough part for them.
All right.
They're basically going to be out of it.
Can we cue the yakety sax, the Benny Hill music?
The Benny Hill music?
Yeah. All right, there we go. They're on top of each other. Zone is going to move on in here for the final zone. Here we go. We're no longer in team boost mode. It is everyone for themselves boost mode. A couple of people still going underneath to see if they can maybe boost up their teammate, but it might boost up someone else. It's a lot of Edwin trying to get himself on up.
And listen, when you have multiple players for a single team, you don't need all of them to live. So if you send 1 or even 2 of them out to just try and knock other people away from the dead center, if they get hit by the blue literally half a second earlier than you, then you're going to win. I don't think there's a chance that there are any boosts left in play. They all should have run out by now.
Yeah. And there's no way you could stand long enough to pop like a
absolutely
energy drink.
No. Absolutely not. But it's just raw health numbers at this point.
I hope you all at home have put on the music. It makes this viewing experience much more enjoyable. We can't do it for DMCA reasons, but this is great. All right, here we go. I think right now, who's got the center? I think it's Chills. Everyone seems to be bodying around Chills right now. Oh, and I think Chills just got moved, so I don't know how to play-by-play and call this. Plus, the zone looks like it's everywhere and also nowhere.
At the same time, yeah. What's that one yard game that you throw your... Like, there was a version with rolling balls, and there's a version with beanbags that you just, like, try and get it close to the target, but you can also knock your opponents out, or, like, horseshoes or something. I don't know. It reminds me of that. IRL, real-life games that you go outside to play.
Bocce ball?
Yeah, bocce ball. Yeah, that's what this is reminding me of. Because everyone's trying to, like, you try and knock your opponents to a place closer to the blue, but then you also want to, like, get yourself in a safe area with doing so. And
this is also too hard to call because we've got so many players that aren't at full health that might be in the center. So here we go. That zone getting smaller and smaller. Only going to be able to fit a Cammy-sized human being. Let's see who will squeeze supreme, I guess. Brian's kind of getting stuck underneath. Here we
Suck
go.
in that gut.
You could also dive shorter. Oh, Chills is able to pick up one. That's Patozin going down. Brian goes underneath and will stay inside the zone. And here we go. Chills gets a second one. It's WenTT that goes down. Kabir has ran out of HP. Who's in the middle? It looks like it's nameless. KB gets pushed out, but KB might be the last one alive. Is it the Teletubbies? Is it the Teletubbies? I believe it's the Teletubbies that get the final victory here in the Mobile Open Ladder 2 Finals. What a ridiculous ending.
The only thing that could have made that better is if they didn't get that one kill that they got earlier on in the day. We really could have seen our first ever 0 kill win, but it was still a 1 kill win. And I don't know. I don't know why I'm complaining, because that ending, as interesting as it was like, I mean, it was interesting. It was novel. It was exciting. I think we need to bring some more people back in here.
Yeah, history making kind of finish there. Just like we saw history for all you football fans, 66-yard field goal today by Justin Tucker. That was a history making finish with no land in the last 2 circles there, Paul. Yeah.
If you ever feel lost in life, just remember, you will never be as lost as that circle. And that's my wisdom fact for the day. Because what was that? What was that? There was no land. There's supposed to be a little bit of land, and there was not. There were 11 players. When it had that one little bit on the dock and the team had the boat, and I was like, oh man, they're gonna do so much with that boat. They're gonna be a bunch of little Andy Sandbergs out there. It's gonna be great. And then the boat exploded. And
Nice play by
what's
Edwin.
gonna happen next? And then I forgot. Like, we're supposed to crown a champion here too, but honestly, that was just so exciting. So just, I guess let's find out who won.
Oh, gotta roll
let's
the
look back
highlights
at the highlights first. Yeah, let's look back at the highlights first. Oh my goodness.
I mean, I think we know who won anyway, but like all this action to start this off, it's like the whole tempo of this game got completely reversed, where it started off super hot and only later on got a little slow here. But this was actually a very exciting fight to watch. Woo. Even like All-Star coming out on top, but the initial approach that Unity had was really exciting. But then yeah, we just saw a bunch of redneck fishing for like the whole midsection of this game.
Yeah, Lost One had a great hold on that first island, but then it just was very, very quickly discarded as playable area, and then they got stuck. WenTT also went very much redneck fishing right there.
I think, yeah, I don't think the M249 or even grenades and Molotovs are sanctioned by the Wildlife Association. Like, we really got to get some government bodies back in here, because the whole ecosystem is just being torn apart.
You know what? I wouldn't know, but our kayak, our sanctioned kayak tourist in Verum might know. Are those things that we can use?
I mean, I can't speak for the states. In Canada, no. In fact, they were not proper fishing license etiquette there. Not a lot of catch and release going on out here. And 4-piece. Oh no!
What a play! Oh, no. Like, you feel like you outsmarted the field right there. This boat melted.
Like, oh yeah, that spray just beamed on them.
And WenTT able to get some of this final damage here at the end. And then, but I think you're right, guys. I think there could have been more of a concerted effort for the teams that had multiple players up to try and boost each other up to do some additional damage. Because Brian was one of 2 players with full HP and didn't necessarily play this correctly in the end. And in the end, it was the Teletubbies surviving through it. Just, to add additional insanity here at the end to pick up a chicken dinner. And like you said, almost our first ever 0 kill chicken dinner. An incredible game of firsts. But in the end, the team in first, despite getting 0 points in the last game, our Ladder 2 champions are Forza Gaming.
Listen, they had a great run even up to that final game. And even though they went out early, that game was too chaotic. I think it would have to... I don't know if there was any opportunity for a team right below them, looking at Blackwater and Extreme Ice mostly, to get the points necessary to catch up with a game like that. So very well played by them. You have to give it to them. They had the 2 wins in a row in the first place. So just solid rounds other than the final one.
Yeah, they are by far the consistent team, right? We were impressed with the run that Blackwater had in game number 1, 38 points. They dominated the lobby with 23 kills in the chicken dinner. But we've said it time and time again, every Mobile Open, it's the consistency on the day. And so Blackwater had a couple of duds. And even in this one, they had the information early that Forza went out, and they unfortunately got stuck in the water. Like, I wouldn't say that's necessarily their fault, but they could have been a little bit more aggressive with their play there.
Yeah, you know, at some point, RNG just decides nobody's going to win here. You're all just going to kind of lose together. And that's what kind of happened with that one. An absolutely insane finish to an absolutely insane year of gameplay, because PUBG Mobile, for the last 2 seasons, 4 ladders, months upon months of gameplay, multiple champions crowned, and we have another one here. And what a memorable way to do it, with an absolutely insane final circle and a great day of casting from you guys. So thank you so much for bringing it. Go, take it easy, relax, enjoy the rest of the night. I'll get Glitter back in here to get her thoughts on this, because I am sure she has many.
Responsible.
You did say something.
I asked for a significant amount of chaos out of the last 2 games, and I not only feel like I got that in the 4th game, but then it just got amplified and multiplied in the final game, and I'm not gonna lie, I am not disappointed at all.
I have been casting PUBG Mobile since the beginning of 2019. That is 3 years of commentating this game, and I have never seen. We've come close. We've come close at the highest level of professional play, and we have never seen anything like that. Absolutely ridiculous ending. And again, congratulations to our champions here for putting up stellar games. Nothing you could do about the last one, but they did enough work earlier on that it literally didn't matter, because again, wow, just a crazy finish, Glitter. There's, the run of show says talk about your favorite moments of the day, but there's no chance it's just not that last bit there. There's no chance it's not that. So I guess just any final words for the fans before we sign off.
Obviously, huge shout out to the teams and the players that participated, because they're the reason that it's even entertaining to begin with. So congratulations to everybody, and thank you to everyone who did participate, not only in PUBG Mobile, but in any of our titles. This was an awesome season in general of the ESL Mobile Open, and I'm very happy to have been a part of it. So thank you.
We've been extremely happy to have had you. And for those fans who are still here sticking around and are also fans of, I don't know, maybe a game like Clash of Clans, maybe a game like Brawl Stars, the ESL Mobile Challenge is starting soon. And if you don't want to miss out on any of that action, keep up to date on everything mobile esports related here for ESL Mobile. !social in the chat is where you can find all of that. Go stick around. Just hang out there, because it's fun times, and we're gonna have a lot of gameplay coming your way. But we got to call it there. That was too much. It's just too much, which means we got to say goodnight. From myself and Verum Glitter, the casters, the crew, thank you all so much for joining us, and we'll see you at Challenge.
Step out as a motivator, let them know that the weight's up. That's how we know when we level up. Hey, that's how we know when we level up.
Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up.
Back against the wall, still I'm standing tall. Know about the ball, I got my fan with me. All we know is ball to empty out the mouth. The chosen one they call, I take my fan with me. Know about it if you tell, know you're breaking codes. Want your credibility and all fall like dominoes. Can you really take a stance? All I wanna know. Need me real ones when it's time to go. Stepping in, elevator. Listen to all the haters. That's all we know when we level up. Yeah, that's all we know when we level up.
Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up. I found out I'm not alone, 'cause I'm just like you. There's no failing when we fight. We're not afraid to. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up. Feel the light, see the stage, hear the vibe. Pumped up to get ready for the fight. Big dreams, one chance, be the star. I'm the winner coming out of the dark. No fear, getting ready for the ride. Yeah, stepping into the light. No limit, aim high. No limit, the prize is mine.
Step out as a motivator. Let them know that the weight's up. That's how we know when we level up. Hey, that's how we know when we level up.
Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up.
Back against the wall, still I'm standing tall. Know about the ball, I got my fan with me. All we know is ball to empty out the mouth. The chosen one they call, I take my fan with me. Know about it if you tell, know you're breaking codes. Want your credibility and all fall like dominoes. Can you really take a stance? All I wanna know. Need me real ones when it's time to go. Stepping in, elevator, listen to all the haters. That's all we know when we level up. Yeah, that's all we know when we level up.
Level up.